Hey guys, how's it going? Matt from Foul Ball Productions here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you're doing well. I'm doing great. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. This is 1 year on YouTube for me. 1 full year. All right, that's the whole stream. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. No, it's pretty wild, man. It's been a pretty wild ride. Hello. Hi. I haven't done this alone in a while. I'm a little uncomfortable. Yeah. 1 year on YouTube. Man, did not ever foresee what this became. Never did. Never thought this was going to be anything more than, I don't know, recommending obscure movies on the internet. That was the whole goal. That was the whole plan. Talking a little culture war, maybe. I don't know, get involved in the conversation here and there, but I did not expect it to become something that I would be doing as frequently as I do, and that it would have gone the way that it's gone, that I get to do it still, and that you guys are supportive, and I get to meet all you really cool people and go to Vegas and hang out with all those guys and all that good shit. It's been really cool. It's been a really cool thing to do. And I'm really grateful for like everyone that comes and hangs out. It means a lot. Even Sentient Dildo, even him, who I had to address when I wrote the description of this fucking show today, honestly, because I kept thinking, I'm like, this sounds corny. He's going to tease me. It sounds like sanctimonious. I'm not accepting an award. I'm just trying to show a little gratitude for everyone's support. So I had like literally just addressed it in the description because I was like, I can't get this idiot out of my head. So you're welcome. You're welcome, Sentient Dildo. You've affected my life. Thank you. You live rent-free in my head. Now I'm very grateful to know you. I'm very grateful to know Sentient Dildo. He's a wacky Croatian who I met through one of the Expand streams, which is super cool. Because that was the thing that. So first let me say hello to everybody. Hi, everybody. Hello. Sentient Dildo. Hey, buddy. Being salty as always. How's it going, Chief? Ironcaster. Hi. Congratulations on 1 year of YouTubing. Thank you very much. Thanks, Ironcaster. I think you're going to be on with us on Friday, right? You're going to be joining us this cocktail lounge, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm looking forward to it. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So hail. Snortapoopus Cooper. Snortapoopus. Hello. Congratulations on the year. Just like at 3 a.m., I like short streams. Well, I don't know if you're on the right channel, my friend. We did 7 goddamn hours the other night for the cocktail lounge. 7. I mean, it's hilarious. I saw that like in the videos, like my videos, I laughed. It looks insane. 7 hours. It's like one of those, 7 hours of white noise, 7 hours of rain. That's what, no, 7 hours of dissecting pop culture and strong opinions. So pretty wild, but hi, Keely Chow. Hello. Hail. Welcome. Thank you very much for the compliment. I appreciate that. Thank you. It means a lot. Lord Thoth. Hello, sir. Lord Thoth. I tried to get him on the channel for the celebration today. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it. But he's saying, congratulations on 1 year, my friend. Woo. Woo. Actually saying who. That says who. Who? Who is this guy? Who cares that he's been doing it for a year? It doesn't matter. You're not interesting. Go away. Stop bothering us. I'm sorry, Lord Thoth. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disrupt your day. No, but I do plan on having some guests. I know that some of my friends are going to jump on and say hello. I don't think most people have that much time today because it is sort of in the middle of the day. And I'm really bad at planning, it turns out. I had this sort of grand idea of how I would curate these messages for everybody and be like, hey, so grateful. So I'm so grateful to have you on. It was so awesome having you that day. And, if you'd love to, if you could join me, I'd love it. All pumped and excited. And then I'm like, oh, fuck, it's tomorrow. I didn't invite anybody. I had to like scramble after work at like 12 o'clock at night and just text everybody and message them. And I don't know. So we'll see who shows up. So I'm bad at planning. I apologize. God damn it. Luke, my cat's hair just gets on literally everything. Oh, my heavens. But yes. Code Holo. Hello. Hail. How's it going, my friend? Welcome. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for being here. Yeah, so I started doing it. I guess like the first like video thing I ever really started doing was these kind of obscure movie recommendee show is what I called it, where I would just kind of talk about like lesser known movies, like movies that I loved, but most people didn't really know about. And I wanted to kind of turn people onto it. I thought that would be cool, you know, especially because it was during the pandemic and like, you know, a lot of people had just kind of exhausted their content and really didn't know what else to watch. And I was like, let me recommend some cool shit that I know. Like I just have this like library of information of movies to like, you know, that people could potentially enjoy. So I started doing that. Not a lot of traction with those videos. Didn't really go anywhere. And then eventually I started live streaming. I started with the Umbrella Academy season 2 because I liked the first season and I wanted to. We knew what it was going to be. Like we knew it was going to be agenda driven. We knew it was going to be like man bad and you know, and it was pretty rough. And that was a weird Frankenstein show too. That second season that was like, had like, you could tell like elements of a great show and then like a whole overhaul of like whatever new bullshit they were shoving in there. And it was such a clusterfuck, and it was just so ugly, and it was just a mess of a show. And so I talked about that, but when I was done, I was like, fuck, like I hate that. Wasn't pleasurable. It was not fun to watch 10 episodes of this show and stream about it and talk about it in a show that I hated. And I was like, this wasn't fun. So why don't I talk about a show that I love and The Expanse? And so that's what I just started doing. Just started covering like every single episode of The Expanse. And I don't think I definitely didn't cover every episode. I got like, I don't know, I think like halfway through season 3 and then the new season started. And so then we covered all those episodes. And by the time that happened, I was like, I think this show, I don't know, like it hurt. It kind of fell apart. And it wasn't the show that I remember. And it didn't have the same love that I recall from like the previous episodes. And I mean, like I covered, you know, I'd watched that show, I don't know, 5-6 times all the way through inside of a year. Like loved that show. And then, you know, I would meticulously cover it on the channel and kind of like go over it with like, you know, forceps and like fine tools and try to get into what was so special about that show. And then the new season comes out and it's like 50% this same brilliant thing. And then out of nowhere, it just becomes a completely different show. And it was heartbreaking. Like it sucked. It was so shitty. And so, yeah, we covered that, but that's how I met a lot of you guys. That's how I met. Hey, red shirt. Hail, buddy. Hail, my friend. Good to see you. I hope that you can make it. Hope that you can make it. Snort a poop is cat hair. Right. Listen, I have a white fluffy cat. I live in a cloud of cat hair. Oh, he's lucky. He's awesome. If he wasn't, oh my goodness, he'd be on the street. Shove him out there. Go eat rodents or whatever. No more pate for you. Hail, Parrot Head. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. And so that was, you know, that was interesting. That was kind of like, I got a lot of cool people on there. Once the new season came out, though, and like my favorite thing had got swallowed up into this vortex of agenda in media. Wow, you know, a lot of fans that I made, a lot left. A lot didn't like hearing it. They I don't know. I think a lot of people didn't want to believe it. I mean, I still have like even Sentient Dildo doesn't agree with me. He doesn't even think that it did fall to agenda. I think it did. But a lot of people just got sick of hearing it. And I was like, no, man, I like this. I like saying that, like what I view as the truth, like my point of view on the world. I don't know. It's very healthy for me. You know, it just kind of gave me this sort of like, I don't know. What's the word? Like it just made it easier for me to see things and call them even in my personal life and like my professional life and not, you know what I mean? Like I I don't know, it just made me more articulate as I'm like struggling to articulate myself. I'm complimenting myself on how articulate I've become. I'm an asshole, but it just like it. I don't know. It's what it was, and I love it, and I really value it, and I wanted to keep doing it, so I did, and so that's why you're all here. I don't know how much of this walking through the process I'm going to continue to do, but it was I don't know, and that's what's been really cool about it is I get to speak my mind, and for whatever reason, you guys like hearing it, and that's cool. I try to keep it funny. I try to trash myself as much as possible, which you guys have taken and ran with, which I appreciate. Every cocktail lounge, I'm getting smoked. So if you guys want to see some really funny comments about at my expense, make sure you come back every Friday at 9:30 Central and watch me get roasted by Sentient Dildo and Robert and Sort of Poopus. Sometimes, Jesus Christ, when we had Robert Meyer Burnett on Vigilante's channel, whew, getting cooked over my failed acting career, which was actually very funny. It's less funny when it's you and your dreams. But they were funny comments. They were funny. Hey, Jed. Hey, buddy. Good to see you, man. Welcome. Jed will be joining us at some point. Yes, he will. Yes, he will. Hail, buddy. Yeah, and over the past year, I did have 2 hit videos. Had a few others I thought would be hits that didn't quite go anywhere. Turns out no one gives a shit about the new District 9 movie, which I was shocked because I've loved that movie ever since first time I saw it in the theaters. I rode my bike. I lived down the Jersey Shore, and I rode my bike. Oh, excuse me. I rode my bike to the theater, and this was pre-smartphone, so I kind of was lost and almost abandoned it, and then like managed to finally get there. And boy, did I love that movie. I loved that movie. It was so fresh and exciting and badass and just swift and atypical. Like the hero that we had, like the guy who was the Vicus, whatever his name was, having him as like the antagonist, so different, and like you didn't even know where they were going with it. It was just so wild. And so I've been waiting, and I'm not really a big fan of Blumkamp's really his other movies. Like he had what's the other one that he had? The Chappie. It's okay. Sort of silly. And then Elysium, which was just like, oh God, we get it. Yeah, you got praise for putting politics in your movie because it was articulate and subtle. Not because it was like ham-fisted. They're like, America, Mexico, get it? Like, yeah, I got it. Like, maybe just a tad more subtle, please. Just a little less on the nose, if you don't mind. But anyway, so I released that video. I had the Bill Burr, Gina Carano video, which went, viral. I mean, I guess relatively is 130,000 views or something like that, which is like by far the biggest video on this channel. And then the next day I put out the District 9. I'm like, I'm going to have back-to-back hits, baby. No one gave a shit. No one fucking cared. It was like 30 views or some shit. I was like, really? I was thrilled. I ran to YouTube. I was like, everybody, hear the great news. Everyone's like, what? I don't know. Who cares? Even on the cocktail lounge, everyone's like, yeah. We go either way on that movie. I was like, what? Well, I thought everybody loved. I thought this was universal. Turns out not. But it's been really fun. It's been cool. Like that Bill Burr Carano video was awesome. That was really fun. Like just I knew that one was going to be a hit because I knew we all wanted to hear this. Like I knew we all wanted to like, is anyone from the cast going to say anything about Gina Carano's firing? Like, are they like, do they have an opinion on it? Like, it's cancel culture is on the lips of literally everyone in the country, and no one from the cast or knows her has said shit about it. And so we're all just like, what the fuck? And I was just casually just listening to that podcast for fun. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, they're talking about it. And I was like, I haven't heard anyone bring this up. I was like, let me clip this out, throw it out there. So I knew that one was going to be a hit, but after the weekend, it was only like 2,000 views, which was still great. But I was like, wow, I really thought it was going to do better. And then I think Midnight's Edge picked it up, the story somehow. And then they released a video about it, and then that combined with my video, actually it was funny. I like it just like shot up, exploded. And then, you know, it went from like 2,000 to like 50,000 and 100,000. It just kept going. It was crazy. I wasn't monetized at that point, though, so I didn't make any money on that. But it did propel me into monetization. And a big part of that is because of Gary over at Nerdrotic, because he let everyone know that actually I was first to that story. And that threw a lot of subscribers on the channel. Got me over 1,000 because they shouted me on Friday Night Tights. That was sick. That was so fucking cool. And I was so weird. Like, I just flicked it back on Friday Night Tights, and like Gary's going, Matt, listen, it's something. And I was just like, it can't be me, Matt. This is Friday Night Tights. And then I was like, no, fuck, he means me. Holy shit. What? And so then, like, you know, everyone just started flooding over. I had drunk 3PO on the cocktail lounge that night. Yeah, that was wild. That was cool. And yeah, that was a wild thing. And then that became a national news story. Like, that was something that even the news was talking about all day. I was like, I kind of broke that. That was sort of me. I was like, wow, this is nuts. So that was cool. That was a cool week. And I think a lot of you guys came over because of that. So grateful to have you. That was super fun. This isn't just going to be me having a victory lap for all my wins. Okay, because that's pretty fucking boring to watch. But I'm bringing you inside my process. You know you see this big YouTube star, right? But you don't know what goes on behind the curtain, and I'm gonna let you in. This is my the YouTube studio with Matt Fowler and Foulball Productions. We're gonna be super serious. The process of YouTubing is a complex one. It eludes many artists. Its craft is a complex. All right. But yeah, I just gotta walk you guys through the year. It's been pretty cool. I did start. So during the when I started doing soda pippas. Yeah, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Gary tripped on your name once. I think he thought it was something to do with cocaine. So much for my 5 seconds of YouTube fame. I was listening, and I was like, he's soda pippas. He goes on my channel. I know exactly who he's talking about. I think the whole thing that you're a polar bear on YouTube, I don't know if that was initially apparent. It wasn't apparent to me initially. I didn't get it. I do now, obviously. I'm very happy to have a representative of the polar bear community here. I'm proud that I have a diverse community of polar bears and sentient dildos. Autonomous thinking sex toys means a lot. And then a bunch of guys in their 40s. Like, my demographic is so specific. It's like, if you guys saw my numbers, it's like literally like 32-year-olds to like 52-year-old men. That's the entire demo. Oh shit. APM. One of my awesome supporters from across the pond over in England, jolly old, works in the entertainment field, is a great guy. Has introduced some cool stuff, and I'm very happy to know him. Just sent me a 100-pound super chat. Holy shit. Thanks, man. I don't really have any words. That is fucking amazing. Let's read it. Woohoo! Been enjoying your content for quite some time, so I'm quietly tucking these notes into this little, just kidding. Congrats on a year, mate. Thank you so very much, APM. Very grateful to have you, buddy. Very grateful to have you. Awesome guy. Interesting fellow. I think if you need any entertainment representation in England, in London, hit up APM. I don't know if you're looking for talent, but I imagine the Foulball Productions audience is just chock full with diverse and talented people. So hit up APM for all your entertainment representation needs in London. Thank you so much, brother. Seriously. Fucking humbling. Really appreciate it. Thank you. The Wake Down. Hey, buddy. The Wake Down. Me and Vigilante's Perry Chan. Fucking video genius. Love this guy. Says, I found you by myself. I don't remember what I was looking for, but I found your interview with that guy from The Sopranos. No shit. That's cool. I'm glad that drew someone in, that was like someone just kind of Googled that. Yeah. Joe Gatascole of The Sopranos is a friend of a friend. And he agreed to do my channel when it was way smaller. I think it was even before I had that big Expanse video, which got me to like 400 subs, something like that, from like, I don't know, 60, 70 to like 470, something like that. That was crazy. That was a good one. I didn't expect that one to be so big either, but it was like, I had to talk about it because they're like, hey, there's a new season coming out. We're all like, yay. Like, oh, but it's over after that. We're all like, oh. It has just so many missteps with that final season or whatever, this past season, everything they've been doing. I have questions that you're not going to answer because you're hiding something. But yeah, no. So Joe Gatascole is a friend of a friend and agreed to do the channel, like just as an interview. And he's from The Sopranos. It's like one of the greatest shows of all time. And he plays like a very memorable character in like the gay capo who's like, closeted. And like, if that comes out, could cost him his life. And, spoiler alert, it does. And he agreed to come on. And it was great. It was a great interview. It was really fun. Unfiltered. If you haven't seen it yet, that guy doesn't hold anything back. He accuses some people of being out of the gay, who I don't think are out of the closet. It was some pretty wild stuff. He doesn't give a fuck. I loved it. It was great. So that was really fun, and that's dope. That's dope that you found me through that. That was really cool. I also interviewed Butch Patrick. I think that's his name. I feel bad that I forgot it because it was another favor. I think that's it. Butch Patrick. Yes, Butch Patrick, who played Eddie Munster on the original Munster TV show. Another friend of a friend. Interesting interview. I mean, I'm not like the hugest Munster fan. It's not like I was dying to talk to, a Munster, but I was like, sure. I mean, why not? I'll have an actor on the show. I'm an actor. Why not? Let's have a conversation. Pop Jed says Matt hates us old guys now that we're all leaving his whole demographic. You're my whole fan base. I can't lose you. You're all I have. All I have in this world. No, and so that interview was actually kind of interesting because it's like once I started talking to him, I was like, yo, wait a minute. You were a successful actor with like a lot of money, like in your late teens, early 20s, in the 60s, late 60s in California. I was like, yo, dude, that's a story, man. We got a lot to cover there. You know what I mean? Like, I bet there's some crazy like sex stories and parties and drugs and girls and celebrities. And like he touched on it, he did touch on it. I think he's protecting the brand a little bit, keeping it a tad wholesome. Way too wholesome for my taste. I really wanted to hear him get into it. I mean, the summer of love, and you're a rich, like 20-year-old who's famous. That must have been a pretty wild year. Must have been a pretty wild summer. And I would have loved to have gotten some, lurid graphic stories about what his life was like. But no, I did not. I did not get anything out of him. And that, well, not, I guess I didn't get anything. I did got the beginnings, and it was pretty damn interesting. Oh heavens. So that was cool. So I got to do those two interviews, and like since then, I guess as far as like interviews have gone, it's been more other YouTubers. I mean, we did have Chrissy Mayer on the Culture Crime Fighters. That was pretty cool. She's a comic. You guys know her from FNT, and that was fun. I mean, I never felt more amateurish than that day. Because not only did we completely did I miscommunicate the time, I should have been way more clear. I went back and read the emails. I was like, oh yeah, no, should have been a little more on top of that. For whatever, the computer that no longer works wasn't working that day. Couldn't get it to start. Couldn't get it to work. So I'm like, I have this setup that's, fairly professional, not like top of the line, but decent. And it's not working. I'm like, oh God, I got to go off my fucking shitty little laptop. That's like a Chromebook. It's not meant for this kind of thing. And so we're also like, not even sure if she's going to show up because we got the time wrong. And very generously, she did show up, and we're scrambling. And so we get her like last minute. Me and Vidge are freaking the fuck out. Like, we don't even know. And then it's like, I have to look like I'm on this stupid laptop. I look unprofessional. I'm nervous. She starts throwing jokes at us. We both stumble on them because we're just not ready. And, we're trying to be polite. We don't really have guests. We're still fucking new at this. So it was a bit of a shit show, but I think eventually once it got going, it was a pretty good interview. And she was a great sport. I mean, she was super cool, super polite, super like kind, and hope we'll have her back and it'll be better. I mean, I guess if you like laughing at us, which is funny, you could go check us out. Go check out that old interview. It's over on Vigilante Williamson's channel, Culture Crime Fighters number like 14, maybe. I'm not sure what the number is, but it's around there. Well, hey, let's welcome our first guest. This is a guy that I've been YouTubing with for pretty much since I started. I started my friend Lindsay was the first person I had on the channel. Then my friend Jared, who's a filmmaker. But the first person who ever had me on their channel, first person who ever invited me to be on YouTube and be in any kind of a YouTube community that wasn't literally just me and my friends. Please welcome Jake D.
Hey, happy anniversary on YouTube, Matt.
Thanks, Jake. Really appreciate it, man.
By God, man, a year in.
Yeah. When did we start YouTubing together?
I would maybe September, I think, or August.
That sounds right. Yeah, that sounds right. Because I was on the road. I think. Yeah. So we're like, I think, yeah, right around the fall. Because I was on the road in Arizona. And I was messaging you, and like I started listening to you and Draco streaming, and so I was like pumped. Look, they're happy to see you. Jed's saying, Jake.
Hey, Jed. Good to see you, my friend.
Sort of poop is saying hello.
Oh man, I tell you, I have missed being on the airwaves with you guys. It has been. You can see my office machine open in front of me back there.
Yeah.
And it has been just a hell of a few months. We've got, been standing up a new division at work, and, basically I was a team of one for the first 2 months. And it's like, good Lord,
Are you still in the same house? Have you moved?
Moving in. It's looking like March, April now.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm still in the same place for now in the Austin area. Moving closer, actually, going to be really close to comics and Gary's new place when I get down there, getting a new place built.
Maybe Ryan Cannell too.
Oh yeah, I heard he's. I heard he's looking at that area too, man. That's
what I heard.
It's a good part of the country, man.
Yeah, I've never been to San Antonio. This is my entire experience has been with Austin. I went to Dallas when I was a kid, but I was like 13, so don't have many memories of it. But yeah, I hear it's cool. I mean, they like it, so it sounds like a good place to be. And you're gonna be. I mean, hopefully you'll get to like hang out with those guys.
Oh yeah, I certainly hope so, man. It's stuff is finally getting to a point with the job that pays the bills that I think I may be able to start getting back on the channel again.
That'd be great, man. We miss you.
Yeah, it's just been a hell of a ride the past few months. That's for sure, man. And like, while I've been unable to create content because of this stuff back here, man, like watching you spread out and getting monetized, you got the regular thing going with Vidge now. It's been just seeing your I don't know I'm gonna use a terrible word, but you're blossoming.
Sounds like I hit puberty. I hit YouTube puberty.
You know what? That's what monetization is, right?
It is actually. It is. It's like your bar mitzvah. Like you're now a man.
Oh man, there are so many great names in the chat, man. I mean, Jack Nerdy, our boy,
Jack Nerdy's here. Hell,
our boy, sentient dildo. You know,
love him.
You got to watch out for him. He's competing with you for Bree's attention. I understand.
That son of a bitch. Who does he think he is? Back off. That's my lady.
It was 70s rock fan. The 33rd.
Oh.
The 33rd flavors with us this morning. So
fuck yeah, 30th. And speaking of that 70s rock fan, he just threw me a $20 super chat. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. He says, happy anniversary, buddy. Sorry I can't join you as I'm at work, but I wanted to say congrats and may there be many more years. Love you, brother. Love you too, man. And thank you so much for the kind words. I really appreciate it. You've been a real fun guy to hang out with and stream with. And you guys, anyone who watches the MFR Cocktail Lounge, you've seen this crazy Scotsman. And but yeah,
come on, 70s. I'm at work.
Yeah. He's in Canada, so I don't know. Can he even go to a workplace? Depends. It better be essential. Better be really essential.
Yeah. That's the other weird thing about this past year, is working from home now.
Yeah.
As compared to my entire career sitting in an office. My company opened our big campus up in Palo Alto. I mean, this is a place that's got space for 20,000 people.
Wow.
99 people showed up the first day.
99 out of 20,000. Jesus.
We don't work at the office anymore.
No. I mean, if you get everything I think, it's changed so much, it's like, it's almost like a hack topic to think, but it's like, where I was in the beginning of the pandemic versus where I am now is crazy.
Yeah.
I would have never believed it. Like, if you told me I was going to move across the country, you know what I mean? Like, I would be on the internet, you know what I mean? Like 100 hours a week or whatever, like streaming and talking, and just that this would be my new thing. I wouldn't have believed you. And so it's amazing how much change it really has affected in a lot of people's lives.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a weird year. It oddly enough, unlike a lot of people, I can actually say it's been a really good year for me.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, honestly, I that's probably not true of, I don't know, probably 70% of the people that we interact with. But yeah, I mean, for you and me, it's been a pretty good year.
That's been great. I mean, I started this whole thing. I met all you guys, like I took a few trips. I paid off a lot of debt. I mean,
I much the same story, man.
Wasn't bad, but I feel, but it's like a lot of people lost their businesses, and people's lives will never be the same. Lots of people died, so there's it wasn't the greatest year of all time, but it definitely was a different one, a unique one for sure.
And one I hope we never repeat.
I was wondering if they're going to try to pull some shit with this Delta variant, you know what I mean? With this like sinister sounding thing. It sounds like some bad cop shows, like Terrorist Cell, the Delta variants,
I just get like images of, like the Army's Delta Force when I hear it, It's coming for you. It's the Delta variant.
It's what it sounds like. It's out to get you. And I was wondering if they're going to try to pull some sneaky shit and do another lockdown, but I hope not.
I don't know, man. I mean, I can't speak for everywhere. I barely even pay attention to the numbers in Texas anymore because they're so small. They're not even noticeable now. So
I see people walking around with masks still, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, you're in Austin proper, so.
But it's like no one is wearing them. Like no one. Like I go to my gym, no one's wearing them. I haven't worn one. I haven't worn one like a month, and it's just like I see like there'll be like one person. It's like the rare. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah, I took the kids to like a mini amusement park place. One of those places that's got like mini golf and rock climbing wall and video games and tickets. It's like it's kind of like a Dave and Buster's ish kind of place. But it's got like go-karts and stuff like that too. And
that's cool.
And we went there yesterday, and it was, I mean, to your point, this place was packed to capacity, which was great. I mean, I had a blast. But more importantly, the kids had a great time. My 10-year-old got to drive one of the go-karts, and she was like,
fun.
Oh, I get to drive?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. And it was what was noticeable was the, like 5 people in a mask,
right,
among the hundreds,
right.
So
that they're the rarity. It seems it's weird. It's like, what are you trying to prove? It's like,
yep.
I don't know. Like I start to be, I'm like, you're probably the person whose like identity was like stay home or you're gonna kill grandma. You know what I mean? Like they were like actively on Twitter, and now that like that's all gone, they still are like, they're still like for the cause.
I think they'd feel empty without the mask, right? I really think that at this stage of where we're at and everything, those folks are like, I think they've honestly wrapped a portion of their identity around it.
100%. It's like all those. It's like all those journalists who don't have Trump to hate on anymore.
Yeah.
They're just empty inside. They just don't know what to do. They don't know who to be.
Yeah, and it's so weird, man, because people get so invested in that, and it's I go back through my social media history. And when I look at my own, I'm pretty much always 100% criticizing whoever is in power because, as you know, I'm like a radical anarcho-capitalist libertarian.
Right.
and I hate all politicians.
You do not discriminate in that regard.
No. So, so whoever's in power, I'm blasting at them, right? And it's like, even some people in the libertarian circles are still blasting at this Trump phantom. And it's like,
move on.
He's not in power. He's relatively inconsequential anymore. Certainly there's reasons to have a debate over if there was shenanigans or not. But he's not in control. And there are people who are in control who are doing a lot of bad things right now.
Yeah, right now.
I don't care what happened last year on that anymore. I want to talk about what's still wrong today. So.
Yeah, and when it becomes like this thing where it's like Nick Weiser, hail buddy, says they are Corona fanatics. It's a new religion of sorts. I mean, that's right. It's what it is. It becomes this fanaticism where you're so married to this identity and this cause that it's like you're not a credible source of information. You're not helping anybody. I mean, you really just stand to serve someone else's like agenda that doesn't necessarily benefit you. And it's like, listen, that's not an identity.
No,
it's barely a cause.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't think anybody denies that some really bad shit happened with the virus over the past year, or at least I hope not. Yeah. Because it did. It did. At
this point.
Yeah. I mean, there's no denying that. It may be worth talking about distractions. Yeah. But I don't know. For me, just because it's like, and to an extent, I'm guilty of it's a bit of a part of my identity about not wanting the state to control things for the most part, right? I mean, that's a core part of my identity. So to an extent, I get that. People get wrapped up in things, right? Because
the weight down's guiding us out of this one. He's like, listen, just stop. They're gonna kick you. They're gonna boo you.
See, I didn't think that was still true. I mean,
I don't know.
6 months ago, totally agree.
Yeah, he might be right. I don't know.
Well, we can retool.
We can retool. We did have a really interesting conversation on Friday that I wish you were a part of, because it was a Second Amendment debate.
Oh, I loved that. I loved it.
Did you?
I did. I listened to it Saturday morning at 7 hours. You guys went Friday. Damn, dude.
Bro, that was wild. I couldn't even believe it.
So I spent a lot of time this weekend, Matt. I was looking and looking and looking. And unfortunately for the viewers, I was not able to find a copy of You Only Go There at Night.
I gotta like my Mac is dead. It's dead. It won't, I can't get anything out of it. Like I could maybe bring it to a specialist, but what I do have is this removable drive that there's a copy of it on there, I think. Nice. Yeah. So I gotta find a way to get it off. I can't do it with the Mac. So I have to like either get someone else with a Mac or go to a specialist and get the files pulled, but it does exist. So hopefully,
do you think that we could riff tracks that thing without without getting. I mean, you don't think they'd copyright claim you, do you?
I don't think so.
So we should. That'd be fun, man. That'd be
I think so too. Yeah, like I wonder if it's like because some movies are so bad that they're not even funny. I wonder if this is one of them. I'm not sure. Like I hope not. Like, but yeah. There was. I mean, that was brutal, but it was very cathartic to like go through that and mock it. That was really fun. And Jed saying he was there for the whole 7 hours. That's wild, dog.
Yeah, and I just double checked. We're not ghosted or taken down. So we.
Oh, great. Good to know. We didn't say the magic bye-bye words.
Apparently not.
That's terrific, man.
Dude, I'll tell you, the other thing I really want to do that I think would be fun. I wanted to talk to Vidge and maybe you about it if you're into it, man. But they just dropped that UFO report. On Friday, right?
Interesting. I don't know. I didn't hear anything about it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that's always been like one of my things too. Is like the anything woo woo, anything that qualify for an exozone show, right?
Really? Okay.
Since I was a teeny little kid, like one of the first books I ever read was about Bigfoot. For God's sake,
really?
So that's always been a thing of mine, man. And I would love to chat for a while, like, maybe get 2-3 of us together, like everybody read the damn report they released. I mean, it's going to be sanitized and, because it's an official unclassified government report, but it would be cool to read through that thing, have everybody find some things in there that caught their eyes and just talk about it, what it means, what it doesn't mean. Like, that'd be cool.
Yeah, wonder if maybe we do that over on Odyssey or something like that. Like, so we don't have to worry. Yeah, because I know the exozones are you get into some dangerous territory, right? I mean, like with YouTube, like as far as like what they allow.
Well, we could
talked about it.
We could do it on my less active, not monetized channel. That way, if it gets nuked, there's not as much danger.
Dude, I do hope that we get you back, man. Like, I really do.
The Ginger Ninja's here. All right.
Oh, hail, Ginger Ninja. He was saying that he's probably going to go out to Vegas in August, and he's coming from Japan.
I heard that. You guys were mentioning that. I think it was Friday.
Yeah. That's wild. Yeah.
That 2A debate you had was good, man. I thought you made some good points from I would consider you more of a Second Amendment normie.
That sounds good. That sounds right. Yeah.
Then your guys like comics,
right?
And Vidge who are not,
right?
And I'm with them, right? I'm in that camp. But you made a fair point about messaging. I thought,
Thank you. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Because I've been listening to it, and I'm sitting there saying to myself, like, well, I mean, comics and Vidge and those guys, they're right, but at the same time, Matt makes a fair point, because if you really want to move the Overton window and shift the way people think about it, you've got to capture normies' opinions. Yeah, and if you're making technical arguments, most normies aren't going to resonate.
Yeah, and it just kind of makes you seem like a nitpicker instead of someone who's like really willing to make a good like contribution to the conversation. Where you're like, well, it's the same thing. It's just like that's not the nature of this conversation. This conversation is much more complex. But joining the conversation are two of my favorite people. One who I used to do a bunch of Expanse streams with, Jake. You know him, you love him, Mr. Lord Thoth. Hello.
Hey, gents. I saw Jake D on here, and I had to come on. We haven't streamed in a long time, brother. How you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing well, Thoth. I am doing well, my man. It's
That's great.
Retarded.
And Matt, it's a pleasure. Thank you for the invite. Yeah, we haven't done much in a long time. Now that the Expanse is gone, we'll have to do that Altered Carbon thing soon. And I also wanted to come on. It's my lunch break, so I wanted to take a minute to say hello and congratulate you on 100, and to say that that was an interesting conversation the other night, and I appreciated the little shout out you gave me too. I think it was
Mhm.
Draco has said that I'm probably the Illuminati or something, and he's probably not far off.
Well,
Yeah.
we do know that you're a Canadian Fed, so I mean,
It's true.
Maybe.
It's true. He's
There is some tin in my wallet. Yes, absolutely.
Trojan horse. But real quick, because I don't want to lose him, because I know he can't stick around for too long. My other partner in culture crime fighting, Mr. Vigilante Williamson.
Hey, V-Dubs.
Hey, everybody. Vigilante Winston on another episode of Matt's channel. I'm not want to yell because I'm just in a parking lot randomly at lunch on my phone. And that's why I kept bouncing out, because I've never done this on my phone. So I'm trying to figure out, StreamYard on my phone. But hey, I'm glad to join everybody. I'm glad to see the return of Jake D. Hey, Jake D. And
hey, Vidge.
Hey.
Haven't seen Jake D in a while.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard, man, but I was thinking, Vidge, we should do a show about that UFO report that released last week.
Yeah, because there's no who knows if Exozone will ever come back. That's a whole nother can of worms. But yeah. Hey, everybody.
Yeah, I think Vidge was trying to not yell at parked cars.
Yeah, I'm literally trying not to yell at parked
because he's in a parked car. That's why.
I am in a parked car. Yeah.
That, and he doesn't have his mask on. So if he revealed that the unmasked man was V-Dub, that that could be a problem.
Yeah, there's some supervillains triangulating his position. We just can't have that be vulnerable.
Yes, a racially diverse man screaming in a parking lot in a car. That might be a little bit asking for it, I think.
And this is actually right next to a police training center, so I'm not going to do well.
Wow.
Yeah, they heard all your talk about your anti-state point of view, and they're going to give you a lesson.
Yeah, they might. They might.
That's what makes V-Dub and me such close brothers, right there, man. So we equally oppose the state. So
it's such an interesting conversation. Sorry, what was that, brother?
I just said taxation is still theft.
Goddamn right.
Stay punk, Vidge. Stay punk. How much time you got, Vigilante? I don't want to tax you too long, my brother.
I got 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Great. Okay, cool. Perfect. Well, Draco's going to join us too. Hail, Draco. What's going on, brother?
Hello, Draco.
Hail, gentlemen. It's
Draco!
nice and early here, and I'm awake. Weird, isn't it?
Well, we're glad to have you.
The old crew is back together for this stream.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, this is like a cocktail lounge, like a throwback.
Yeah, like the OG lounge.
Weird.
Yeah, this is cool. I like
cool.
this. Yeah,
I wasn't going to be able to stay that long myself, but I did wanted to pop in and say congratulations, man.
Thanks, brother.
Congrats.
I appreciate that, man.
You
It means a lot.
All right, I got to pop out as well, Matt. I got another call starting in about 5 minutes, and I'm technically at work, so
Right on. Well,
Indeed.
thanks for coming in, Jake D. I'm proud that I could host the return of the much missed and much loved Jake D. So.
I appreciate the shout outs Friday night, guys, man. That really, gave you a warm feeling. I appreciated it.
We do all miss you then, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Really?
dude.
You
I was
are
thinking
very
about it. I
nice.
was like,
you are part of our little group.
Yeah, it hit me. I was like, where the fuck is Jake D been?
Matter of fact, you're the anchor.
Yeah.
Matt even mentioned it. You're the anchor. You're the reason. I mean, I started streaming with you. Matt started streaming with you. You're kind of like the
glue.
center around which we orbit.
The old man streamer.
All right, y'all. Have a good one. I will
Later,
try to
Jake.
listen to the rest of the
Take care.
show, but I do have conference calls to host. So
Understood,
Negotiate
man.
and meet well.
Thanks for
All right.
stopping in, brother.
take
Later.
it easy, everybody. And here's to another year to 10 years plus of great success.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. All right.
By then, Matt's hair might grow back there.
Yeah, my mohawk will be about 4 feet tall. I did get I think Nick had to step out, but he did throw me a $5 super chat. And he says, I wish I could give more, but this will do for now. It sure will, Nick. I know Nick's kind of, this is sort of a tough time for a lot of people, like in the day. So I think a lot of people can maybe pop in for a little bit. So we might get him later. Not entirely sure. But we do have Jed, the pop culture archivist. Hail, buddy.
What's up, brother?
Hail, Jet.
How's it going?
Yeah,
Zombie
and I'm gonna
Frog
say
Man.
that 7-hour stream we did on Friday was freaking awesome. You guys got to go watch it.
That was really cool.
Yeah, I love it.
Some good conversation. It was
Yeah.
all over the place. It was like
Yeah.
really fun. And then we went through like I went down memory lane with my acting career.
Dude, it was like baby Matt before he saw the glorious glaze of Brie. Like, so.
Well, at
Well,
the
I
end
know.
there, I made that comment. I said, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, did I just watch? And because at the end, I was so exhausted. I was like, oh my God, that was just amazing. It was like a journey through everything.
I can't believe you watched the whole thing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was my Saturday while I was doing the house stuff and all that. And then I had to travel, and mother-in-law's back home now. So that's good. And so got an opportunity to listen. So it was good.
Right on. Well, hey, I'm glad. It's always it's funny, especially with that show. Like you get so just caught up with like what's being talked about and like the immediate chat that you forget that it's like up forever and that people are going to go back and watch it. Like it feels like it just happens in a vacuum and then that's the end of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys went forever. I was on the first like 2 or 3 hours and then tried to sleep, stopped, couldn't sleep, came back, did a fucking gaming stream from you guys were done. And then a bunch of people came over. Yeah, just got done from the MF. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You guys were gone?
Because after he got
6 in the
done, he was like,
morning.
dude, we were going, and I saw VW was playing basketball on the old Nintendo over there.
Yeah, Bill
went over there.
Lambert's Combat Basketball. which I
Yeah,
didn't
that's an
know
awesome
existed.
game though. Back then,
Is
For
that
sure.
what that
Yeah.
was?
Yeah.
I didn't recognize it at all, but
I never played it
That is-
before then.
I will
I
say
still
this for the
have it.
record, though. I will say this for the record that I see what you see in Brie there, Matt. I wouldn't kick her out of my bed for eating crackers.
Thank you, Lord Thoth. See, some sensible minds. Some sensible minds on the channel.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. I always I
Lord
appreciate
Thoth is
this
also
conversation.
Canadian and he's very nice.
Yeah.
I knew somebody had to have your back there, Foulball. So
Thank
that's
you.
why I jumped in.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It means
And
a
not
lot.
because that's what Draco just said.
Has nothing to do with it. Nothing,
Nothing
at
at
all.
all.
APM would. I mean, see that he's gay. Like that's how hot Brie is. She
Oh,
transcends.
piss off right there, Matt. Like, seriously.
Would turn a gay man straight. That's
Uh,
delightful. It is amazing how much we've scrutinized that woman and who would bang her and when. Like it's starting to get a little like gross at some point. You're just like, all right, she's a person.
Hey, we need to
She
get
was a-
her
yeah,
on
she was
for
a
you at
person at one
Christmas.
time. She's an activist now.
That's
Yeah.
a good point.
Wait,
Good
she's a
fucking
person?
Point.
I thought she was a comic book character.
She was a person at one time. Now she is an activist.
She's mostly a parody of a person. Let's be honest.
Yeah. But you know what?
Yeah,
I
yeah, that's a good one.
She's almost
Go,
like
Vince.
Britney Spears in the Lucky video from back in the day, where she's not really like, I don't think this is real. Like her gimmick, Brie Larson's gimmick as a activist feminist. She's not a real fucking feminist.
I don't think so either. I was listening to Ryan Cannell and
She's trapped
Chrissy.
in the world.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Ryan Cannell and Chrissy Mayer were talking about it, and they just kept breaking down. It's like the more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, this girl's just so desperate to be liked, I think is what it is. And it comes from an insincere place, unfortunately. Like it doesn't come from like a comedian's point of view of like, I want to be liked. It seems very selfish because like even her YouTube channel, like it's such a lie. Like she's like, I'm a huge Zelda fan. I've played every Zelda game and like couldn't even not one specific reference to the game anywhere in this like, gushing review of it. And then she was saying, I have this great memory from when I was a kid. Me and my sister played I don't even think she said Ocarina of Time. She said like, Zelda for 64 or whatever. And then like, yeah. And this one time we played so much and my sister like swatted her fake sword at like a bee or some dumb shit. And I'm like, so your favorite memory of playing Zelda is the one time your sister swatted at something in the real world? Like, you're such a liar. Like, you don't like this game. You don't play these games. Like, why are you so full of shit? Like, just be a real person.
Why can't you
and
say
people
you
will
don't
like
know?
you. Yeah.
Like, hey, I've never played this game, but I'm playing it now. People are fine with that.
No
People
one
are
cares.
okay with that.
Yeah.
Well, I think it would be nice to just have a sit down, go out and have a beer when the cameras are off and nobody's watching, and just have a conversation with her and say, hey, so what are you really like? And I bet you she is a completely different person when the cameras are rolling.
I wonder.
That would be an interesting question, and it would answer your question, Matt, of just how much she is this image of does she just want to be liked?
Well, in today's world, it's all about image. You're right.
I still think she's surrounded by the people who would drive her that way, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's
I
part
agree.
of the problem.
Yeah. Well, guys, wait no longer. I'm a little flustered. I mean, honestly, I'm a bit embarrassed. It turns out that as we're having this conversation, we actually are joined by Brie Larson.
Oh snap!
Hello, Bree.
Hi, Brie.
Hey, Bree.
Is that
Hello?
Fat
Hello?
Steve?
A bit shy. A bit shy today.
Are you so moved by your participation? Is the weight
Oh,
down?
the weight down.
Oh, there we go.
Damn it!
I was wondering if he's gonna show up doing something.
That actually is a pretty good picture of her.
That was
Yeah.
that's a good picture of her actually.
She kind of looks like a 1960s playmate.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, like one of the fembots from what was that movie? Austin Powers.
Austin Powers.
Austin,
Yeah.
Well, actually, James Bond, but yeah, we'll go with Austin Powers.
Was that a reference to James Bond movie?
Yes.
The Fembots?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I didn't know that. Which one?
Oh God,
All of them, basically.
Oh.
I don't remember.
Several movies,
Well,
like throughout. Yeah,
wasn't it in the Bionic Woman as well? Didn't they have fembots
Yeah.
in that?
Dude, that would be
yes.
honestly,
They
that
did in
would-
Bionic Woman.
Snowda Poop has said he's about to message Brie. Like, could you imagine? Like, why would she subject herself to this? I mean, it would be amazing.
It's
but-
the KKK.
Oh, whoa.
oh,
whoa.
that was
Oh, Kathleen.
Whoa.
Kathleen
Took me a
Kennedy.
second. I was like, what the fuck?
No.
Look at that
Send it
nose.
away.
What the hell,
my.
dude?
This is
I
like
thought
in
Canadians are supposed to be
Raiders.
nice.
It's
Yeah.
kooky Kathleen Kennedy, KKK.
Wait, we
Yeah.
couldn't hear you, buddy. Wait down. You're not audible, brother.
How
Oh,
about now?
yeah, there we go.
I said I can do this all day.
I
We
wish you
lost
wouldn't.
him on his phone.
I wish you wouldn't. We just lost Vidge, so I'm sure he'll pop back in. I hope he pop back in. If not, you can always catch us every Wednesday. Here he is. All right, I was about to plug the Culture Crime Fighters, but you can catch us every Wednesday at 5 Central on either my channel or Vigilante's channel for the Culture Crime Fighters.
Yeah, it's on your channel this week, right?
It is, I think. Yes.
Yeah.
Now I'm not even sure. I don't even know. I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
The Islington girl, our female representation. Thank you so much, my dear, for a $5 Canadian super chat. Congratulations on your anniversary with a heart, the lovey heart. Thank you so much. Very grateful to have you, the Islington girl. I think I found you from the Expanse streams, if I'm not mistaken. I think you kind of popped in there. Honestly, like, the review of The Expanse, like when Gary came on the channel, which was fucking crazy. I can't even believe I didn't talk about that during the highlights, having like my favorite YouTuber on my channel, like, I don't know, 6 to 8 months after I started it. Fucking bananas. And he's such a such a good dude, such a humble and awesome motherfucker. I was very, very glad to have him. But that I would get some comments from people that were like, thank God you guys are saying this. Like, because everything else I read is this unbridled praise. And it's like, yeah, that's what I would always get from, like, you know, the new Star Wars movie or the whatever, Game of Thrones. And that's what brought me to YouTube to begin with, was people telling the fucking truth. And I was like, thank God that I could offer that to someone else. Thought that was such a cool, like, that was probably the best compliment I've gotten, you know, since I started this, was just that kind of like that feeling of like, oh, someone else sees what I see. I don't have to feel like this is so isolated. Like, that was really cool for me to be able to do that for someone else. So thank you so much, the Islington girl, for your $5 super chat. Very much
And
appreciated.
she also gave out sandwiches for everybody too.
Did you know?
Yeah, she always does that. She gives out sandwiches for everybody. So.
Very sweet. You know, catering. I cater the show.
Mhm.
Sentient dildo says, "Here we go with the simping." Listen, I love the Islington girl. I'm going to show her respect. It's not simping, okay? It's just it's a little simp. Simp. Just shooting that.
Hey, there's Matt's favorite picture of Brie on my profile right there.
She really does look like a new cast member for the Mortal Kombat movies. Doesn't she? Like just like the one where you roll your eyes out, like, oh god, okay.
And that's post-production. That's what it'll look like on the screen.
It does look like an airbrush photo, to be honest. It does look a little too good. Yeah. Isn't it go? My pleasure. Love your content. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I think another really cool thing I've been able to experience is like the Wake Downs fan videos.
Yes,
like
Wake Down is great.
It's amazing. Like the first time I ever saw one, I was just so like, it was hilarious and so flattering and so cool. And I was like, fuck, dude. Like, that was great. Like, I was like, that was the greatest thing I've ever seen. So
I had fun making it. I really appreciated the shout outs, and I enjoy y'all's content, and I watch a lot of it. You do really long streams. And I said, well, what can I do? I'm kind of bored. What can I do to like make this fun? So I just started like clipping y'all while you were talking and throwing it into.
Yeah.
And tossing that MacGyver review up was just awesome, man. That's genius.
I'm going to do more of those. I'm going to keep pushing the bounds of YouTube and hammering it out and figuring out exactly what our limitations are. If they're not going to tell us, I'm going to find out.
So
I'll be the guy that walks through the minefield.
Oh, I've kind of gone through the minefield too a little bit, so me and you will both be there.
What pisses me off is I'm still to this day have a copyright claim thanks to GayW. Yeah, I said it. For a 2-second or whatever, it's less than a minute in a almost 3-hour podcast from months ago, and they still will not release the claim. They will not release it. They will not give me the chance to delete it out. They just said, "Oh, you're claimed," and that's just it. And
speaking of which, I got popped. They wouldn't. Amazon wouldn't release a claim on a cocktail lounge we did from like 3 weeks ago, where we watched that stupid Future World trailer.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I have a claim that they won't release, and I have to go edit it.
I didn't know you got a claim from that.
Yeah, and you know what's fucked up about copyright claims? If you made money, including super chats, they get that money.
You know, I watched that whole trailer.
They get super chat money?
They get everything you made.
That's the reason why you have the tip jar at the top.
Right.
And it goes to Stream Elements or something. They can't touch that.
People still send Stream Elements, but that's and I shouldn't say claim, it's a strike. I have a strike against
it. A strike. Yeah, that's
I have
different.
A strike, and I can't use the video. I can't. That episode of podcast is just gone, all because I made fun of AEW, and it's bullshit.
Crazy.
Complete bullshit. Complete Naughty Dog bullying. So that's neither here nor there. Just all just
Yeah, dude. So Wake Down, when you did your MacGyver thing, did you have it on the screen, or did you just talk about it, or what?
So we put I took the whole episode of season 1, episode 1, and I added an overlay to it, like that was translucent. It had you could kind of see through it. It had my logo, and then under that I put a copyright disclaimer. But I had those as part of the video file. Like I made a new video file, and we just watched that live on air, and it was me, New Bomb Turk, and Robert, and the whole time we just kind of talked shit about it and joked and whatnot. And at the end of it, there was no strike. And then I woke up the next day and I had a claim that was blocking the video for audio in like 6 places. So I watched it, and it was all in areas where we had turned it up a little so people could hear, and the music was also going. And it was all just music stuff.
Oh, wow.
So I let them cut those 5 spots, which took like 10 minutes out of the video, and it went back to being good. And about an hour later, it got claimed again for another spot, and I had to go back in and edit that spot out. But now it's up, and you can still watch most of MacGyver Season 1, Episode 1 on my channel with us riffing on it.
That's pretty interesting because like it's very gray. It's very subjective. Like you talking about it or something like that transforms the content. So it's kind of up to the content provider whether that was good enough or if it's a theft. Like it's really very gray. So you can get screwed still, but it sounds like you found some fucking loopholes.
Oh, there are some loopholes. I don't know if you've seen what we did yesterday.
No.
Boy, Wakedown was there. I think you showed up there too. There we figured out you can do public domain stuff now.
Yes, you can do anything in the public domain.
Yeah.
But here's the problem, is that anything in the public domain could at any point be bought by a corporation and then retroactively struck. So like say you pick a movie in the public domain and you do a whole riff track on it and it's fine. And then enter X corporation, like AEW said he thinks that Vigilante said he thinks that AEW kind of has a beef with YouTubers. AEW, if they wanted to, could go buy that property in the public domain and then retroactively strike you for it.
Let's pause. How do you buy something that's public domain? Who do you pay?
I have no idea. I don't know how any of that works, but I know that it's possible. So I've read about it, that like things in the public domain can become the property of corporations somehow. Yeah,
March of the Wooden Soldier was in public domain, and then they did a recut of it, and then it became if you go in there, recut it, that's how you get around it. The original one is still in public domain, but the one that's remade, you can copyright that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
They've done that to Night of the Living Dead, too. Night of the Living Dead, the original cut, is in the public domain. But somebody came around and actually got the rights to do a recut of it, and that one is copyrighted.
Right on.
My thought is to almost like, let's try to get some public domain shit, like, own it. Let us be the guys. You know what I mean? Instead of waiting for some corporation to buy it.
I like that. I like that business model, Vig. Let's do it. Real quick, I think we got to lose Draco. Draco says he needs to pop out.
I'm probably going to have to leave in a little bit, too.
Time to get to work, sirs.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming in, man. It was really good to see you. It's really good to have you, as always, bro.
Thank you very much. You guys, if there's anyone not listening here that isn't sub to this man, sub to Matt. And sub to all these wonderful channels, the Vigilante Williamson, Jed Pop Culture, and all the guys he hangs out with, the Wake Down, and, well, Lord Thoth and I are kind of in similar places, but...
Yeah, they are. They bounce between here and our channel and a couple others. So.
I just like supporting everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're great, dude.
Absolutely. And I don't have a direction on my channel, but I like subs.
Right on.
Like this, share, subscribe, take care, guys. You have a great stream, and congratulations, Matt of Foul Ball Productions. Let's go another year on the way to 100.
Right on. Thank you, Draco.
Later, Draco.
Take care.
Hey, Eric.
What's up, Draco?
We're going. Yeah, Eric K's stopping in. He's got to go. He's on his phone. But hail, brother.
Hey, Eric.
Hey, Eric.
Good to see you. And I did get another super chat. Raj H sent me a super sticker with for $1.99 Canadian with a red thumbs up.
I love Roger H's avatar. It's just the most like friendliest avatar on earth.
Wait, hold on. Let me find it. There we go.
It's so friendly.
It does look like a meme of like a good guy, like good guy Craig, but like yeah. It's really solid, and you are a good guy. Thank you very much for the super chat, brother. I appreciate that, the super sticker. And additionally, I did get another $5 tip, like a super chat from just a tip from the Stream Elements, from just another red shirt, who says, "Congrats on your anniversary." And he's joining us right now.
Cool.
Thank you, brother.
Oh, my pleasure.
How you doing?
You made it a year in spite of me.
In spite of everyone trying. I even gave control of this channel to you guys one night where I wasn't there.
Yeah.
If you'll remember, during the move, and I survived that. So
yeah, I think I was hosting.
Barely.
Somehow we made it.
Yeah.
I think that was about a couple weeks before I started showing up. So
Yeah, I think
I'm
you're
not sure
right.
if you had started up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Richard.
Hail
Yeah,
finite.
hey, red shirt.
Good to see you, brother.
All of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red Shirt's been a big part of, especially the cocktail lounge. I think you've been there pretty much since the beginning.
I was on the first one, as I recall. Yeah.
Yeah. And like have become a weekly fixture. I mean, there's only a few shows where you haven't shown up, so it's like you've become a big part of this channel. Of everything I do. Good to have you, man.
No, I'm always honored and to be invited. I don't bring an audience because I don't have an audience on a channel of my own. So anytime I get an invite, it feels good.
I would like to step in and say that just another red shirt definitely pulls an audience.
Oh, he
Yeah.
does, because he was on ours yesterday and a bunch when we did the rifting of the movies yesterday. He brought some people in, so he does have an audience, and Red Shirt is freaking awesome. So,
yeah, I mean, I think you were one of the such a Gary regular, like super chatter, and then because of you guys having like a relationship, you kind of had this clout that I think
Well, I certainly seem to be known for being one of the Modrotics, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, getting a
You're
seal
not
of
just another
approval.
red shirt. You're the red shirt.
You're the red shirt.
You're the red shirt.
And look, Eric K saying red shirt is awesome.
Yes.
Oh wow!
There you go.
Oh,
See,
that's high. That's high praise.
as the rest of us are.
Well, look at you being nice to people, Eric K. Hail Eric K.
Hail
King of all
Eric K.
riches. Appreciate you.
Finite San Antonio. Hello, hail, by the way, brother. Says he always thought red shirt was stalking him. The Hissington girl says the red shirt is awesome. And Sentient Dildo says red shirt is like a father figure to all the angry white men here.
What about Vigilante?
Well, he got earlier. He said this is nothing but angry white men and vigilante. So I think I'm already singled out. Either or don't count because the Sentient Dildo's obvious racism. No, Sentient Dildo's the man. Shout out to Sentient Dildo.
Shout out to Sentient Dildo. Vig, I was saying when I was writing the description of this episode, like right before I went on.
I did see that.
Did you see that?
Yeah, you said he was in your head.
I couldn't. I was just like, I feel like he's gonna mock this. He's gonna take the piss out of it. I was like, fuck it, fine. So I just had to acknowledge it.
I did. I saw it in the comment. Just it sounds corny, dildo, or something like that.
It's like, what I mean, like that kind of feedback. It's like it's part of the show, and I like part of like what I do here now, which is so interesting. But it really does it characterizes like what me and you do. Like when we had, R&B on, I've said this a few times, but it was because of them that if I didn't say what I believed and what, you say what you believe, it felt like we'd be doing a disservice to them.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, R&B agree with a lot of our stuff, but there are things we just, we disagree with. And it's like, the people like Sentient Dildo, they were already holding us accountable. They were already yelling at us before we even had a chance to think.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, we, you guys are as much a part of the show and as much a part of the channel, both of our channels, especially when it comes to Sentient Dildo, as anything. And I hate to say this, but I think Sentient Dildo should probably start his own channel.
I wonder, man. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he likes to be a critic. Let's see how he likes it being in the center stage.
Yeah, and I control him.
I will definitely make a video about Sentient Dildo's channel.
I like how you went with the English pronunciation. Was that a shot at me, Wake Down? Is that what this was? On my no, there's I don't know if you know, there's that running thing. Yeah, you do. You know that the sentient
versus sentient.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm very I don't know. I try to enunciate when I speak online because I'm Southern. And otherwise, I'll sound like this. I'll be like, Uncle Paul, get the varmint rifle because a coon's fucking a dog under the porch.
Is that an actual term, the varmint rifle? Like I know that from Fallout New Vegas. Yeah. But is that like a colloquialism?
Yeah.
Well, it's a specific type of rifle that's not large enough caliber to be used for big game.
Huh.
Shoots flat so you can hit small targets at long range.
Shoots flat? What does that mean?
That means that the bullet doesn't drop as fast. It's usually a very high speed round, high muzzle velocity. So you want something that doesn't just fall off the table after 100 yards because the target you're shooting at isn't very large.
Look at this. Got a little lesson. See, he really is the father figure.
See, I was in the Army and I couldn't have told you that.
I have one. I have a varmint rifle that was used to shoot woodchucks back in the day by my father-in-law.
I think rifle that shoots varmints.
That's what it is.
I think in Fallout New Vegas it's a 5.56. Is that the appropriate round, or is that?
That's one of them. Yeah, that's 223.
Right on. Oh, okay. So they're right. Cool. They did their research. Yeah, I mean, shocker.
They did a lot of research.
Actually,
for
they
those
do the research for the Fallout games.
Yeah.
Well, Obsidian did.
They just rushed them.
Yeah.
Obsidian did. Good point. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they did. Did you say they rushed them?
They're corporate, so they just like, all right, let's get it out like yesterday.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Fuck all the bugs.
I watched this. I guess these like some game streamers did exploited all these bugs and managed to literally start Fallout New Vegas and finish it by killing the main bad guy in 10 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh, that's a speed run right there. Yeah.
Yeah. But that one, for a game that has 100 hours of gameplay or something like that, that's how did it possibly do that? Well, they exploited this glitch where you could just kick across the map with this weird momentum. It was really wild. But then the devs were talking about it. The devs were watching it and they're like, they didn't even know how he managed to do it. But they said from conception to release, they had 18 months to make that game.
Jeez.
Wow.
You can also do that on Elder Scrolls too. You can beat the game within 5 to 10 minutes.
That's insane. That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah, to find that kind of angle on it. But considering it's such a well-realized game and it's got so much replay value, and it's so interesting that it took them 18, they only had 18 months to make it, and it's as playable as it is actually a miracle.
Yeah, it is. It's a miracle a lot of these games even get released at all, or are playable at all with how much pressure they put on these devs nowadays.
Yeah.
They're so fucking greedy.
Yeah, they are. And then people
I got to give one out. I got to give props to the people that do No Man's Sky, because they came back and actually fixed. They said what they were going to do, and they actually did it, and they gave even more.
Yeah,
so gotta give them props for that.
Here's the thing with No Man's Sky, and I actually gotta leave on this one.
All right, brother.
What they did with No Man's Sky is they tricked a bunch of people into, because they were a small company, so that much.
Yeah.
Is true. They tricked a bunch of people into basically doing an early access, and they called it a release. They knew it was going to take them however many years it took them to finish the game. They knew that, and they say, you know what? If we release this halfway, we'll get the money. We got the hype going, and they got the money to be able to finish it. Now they did it, which a lot of companies don't. A lot of companies, looking at you, CD Projekt Red, just take the money and run. So I got to give them credit for at least not running. So halfway credit,
Cyberpunk 2077.
Halfway credit, but I do feel like regardless, maybe they didn't plan to, but they ended up getting people to pay for an early access game, and that's still a little shady in my book.
I was one of those people that got suckered into it when it started. So yeah.
Gaming companies are the seedy back alley, as far as I'm concerned, of the software industry. I actually I did a phone interview with one gaming company in Massachusetts, and the guy actually, I said, so can we talk, we got to the point of talking about, would you be interested? And I said, well, the salary range you're talking about isn't quite what I'm looking for. And he says, well, if you're going to be in the gaming industry, you're going to take a pay cut because, this is just such a fantastic place to work because you're writing what you love. I'm like, it's a job.
Yeah.
That's why you pay people. If it were a hobby, I'd write something on my own, but I wouldn't expect to get paid for it. I'm amazed that half of these games ever get written. I'd love to know what the turnover is in the software developers. Yeah, because the average in software in general is like 2 years. Mm-hmm. So if you think about it, if a game takes a year and a half to make, they probably turned over half the team before they finish it.
Mhm.
Oh, that's interesting. I never even thought about that.
All right, guys, I got to get out of here.
Later, brother.
All right.
See you
peace.
later, brother.
Thank
Take
you,
it easy,
Vader.
Vidge.
Later, VW.
All right.
I probably should head out too there. I just got a notification I have a meeting in like 10 minutes.
Oh,
So
good,
I should
brother.
go.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping in, Lord Thoth. It was great to see you once again, as always. And me and Lord Thoth are eventually going to do an Altered Carbon stream about the show and kind of dissecting it and discussing it. So keep an eye out for that.
So, 100. Here's to 100. Here's to another year, and 2 and 10 is chat with you and all these members of the panel. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. We're up here in Canada, so we set records yesterday. 46.7 degrees, I believe it was, out west, and it's never been that high in the 40s ever. And that's before the humidity factor. So, yeah, we're it's in the lower hundreds for those of you who are
I use
American
Fahrenheit.
out there. So, yeah. But take care. Have a great day. Keep hydrated, and I'll talk to you all soon. And
All right.
Congratulations once more.
Thank you,
Take it
sir.
easy, man.
It's great to see you again. And hopefully I'll be back soon, brother.
Thanks.
Take
All
care,
right.
Lord Thoth.
Bye, Thoth.
See you later, brother.
Ironcaster saying Lord Thoth speaking the language of the gods.
Yeah, he turned like a Dalek there for a second.
We needed sentient dildo to translate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad it finally came in at the end because I didn't want to be like, oh, can you just repeat all that? 'Cause we didn't hear you. Islington Girl saying it's soup in Ontario right now. You guys are having a pretty wild year up in Canada, man. The fucking
Welcome to living in Arizona for people that live in Canada right now.
I'll tell you what though, that humidity, Jed, makes a big goddamn difference.
We
Oof.
got you. The humidity is creeping in here, so the monsoons are going to start.
You guys
So,
get monsoons? in
Yeah, we get monsoons
Arizona?
in here. Yeah,
Wow, I didn't know that.
yeah. They get bad in the summer, and they haven't started yet. But I went out this morning to take my puppy out. You could smell the water in the air.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it gets like that during the summer.
Where
I
are
mean,
you?
it's
So, huh?
Where are you at?
In Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you could and it was clear sky, everything. I was like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah. The humidity here is pretty bad in Austin, but I hear that in
Yeah.
Houston, it's unreal. Like, it's
Oh
just-
yeah, I've been down
yeah.
there. It's super bad there in the summer too. So
Islington Girl says humidity is nasty in the Great Lakes. I don't know what a dry heat is.
yeah,
Islington Girl, a dry heat is an oven.
yeah, it is.
It's just a straight cooking, but at least if
Yeah.
you're out of the sun, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
But if you're
And
in
I
it,
also-
it's just like
I've-
a searing, you're just getting smoked like a lizard.
I've also been down to Florida too, and I've
Yes.
been down there. They had when I went down there for the 25th anniversary of Disney World. It was 100% humidity, and it was 95 out. And I was
Yep.
like, wow, it feels like I'm at home right now. Like, I
Yeah.
was like, people saw me
I was
walking
there.
and people saw me walking, and I was just like, how are you taking the heat? I was like, dude, I live in Arizona. They're like, oh, okay. So
I gotta say, I really like the Wade Downs new avatar.
Way down.
What is it? What was that thing called? Brick or granite or some dumb shit?
Geode.
Geode.
Geode, yeah.
Yeah, I was at Disney World for the 25th anniversary, and that was probably the peak as far as I'm concerned. for
It
Disney.
was, Richard. I agree with you. I
It
was
started
there
to
for
go
that day.
downhill right after '96.
Mhm. It
When
did.
was
was-
that?
Yeah, they screwed up Imagination. They tried to, because of course Kodak was running out of money, and there was the sponsor of Imagination at Epcot, and they did an ultra cheap redo and eliminated half the dark ride,
Mhm.
and it was never the same, and it was so bad. I've seen videos about it on YouTube. It was so bad that Disney had to come in and commission another team that was all in house to try to fix it. And the problem was Disney gave the team so little money that somebody said it was like trying to remodel an entire house with $20,000.
Yeah.
And so imagination's never been the same. And it really bummed me out. I was like, this is like a metaphor for everything that's gone wrong with the Walt Disney Company since the mid 90s, that everything is being done on the cheap.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff that I went to at the 25th, you can back me up on this, at the 25th anniversary, a lot of that stuff is just gone out of Disney World. It's disappeared.
Well, Epcot doesn't have half. I mean, Epcot has switched over from selling authentic crafts and products from the different countries to a whole lot of basically not much better than T-shirts and mugs.
Yeah, back when we went in the 25th, there is like 1,000% change from the 25th anniversary to the Disney World that is now.
Yeah.
Well, have you looked at the original plans that they had prior to Galaxy's Edge? What it was going to be? That thing would be making so much money right now. We would all look like fools.
Yeah. It was amazing. Like, I guess apparently all the people who worked on it, they had all these really fun, like Star Wars, like the original like trilogy references, and then they overhauled all of it. Like they had all these plans stopped fresh and were like, nope, do it all with the new trilogy, and like no one gives a shit, and it's like it's glory. And this is what's so fucking frustrating about all this stuff is that it's exactly what they do with He-Man. They lead with the thing that they know the audience likes, like He-Man and his sword, and at Disney they do it with the Millennium Falcon. Like it's the Millennium. It's like, why do you think I like the Millennium Falcon? Do you think it's because fucking Rey flying it? No, and you know that. That's why it's what you're leading with. It's from the original trilogy. It's Han Solo's goddamn ship, and it's like, so you do on a level understand that is what the audience wants. So why not just give them what they want? I don't understand.
And what APM said is true too. He's disappeared too. He had rides and everything there at Disney World.
I'm not sure. Wait, what are you talking about?
Oh, Figment.
What APM said? Yeah.
What is Figment?
Figment is a purple dragon that is the figment of your imagination, which was the mascot of Imagination. And for a while at Walt Disney World, Figment showed up more often than Mickey Mouse did.
Yeah, he did.
That sounds like some MK Ultra shit right there.
He almost replaced Mickey. I have a Figment. When I went to the Imagination in '96, I was skeptical. I didn't think I was going to like it. I'm like, come on, this is
me
Epcot.
too.
You go to the land and you see hydroponics. You go to the ocean, it's a huge. You're walking through an aquarium, which is kind of cool. So I'm like, all right, I'll go. I came out of Imagination singing the song with a 3-foot-tall plush ventriloquist doll of Figment.
I bought one of the bloody shirts, and I was like, because my family is like, I don't want to go in there. It looks like a ripoff of Pete's Dragon. They're like, come on. I was like, okay. I came out of it. I was like, dude, I gotta get that T-shirt. It's a cool looking T-shirt. I still have the T-shirt from '96. And like,
I mean, when I see Figment, I'm like, you mean Spyro? Like that looks like Spyro to me.
This rings very vague bells, but that's about it.
He had a ride and a bunch of other stuff.
This is Spyro.
That's all gone there. It's not there at Disney World no more. It's all boarded up if you go there.
But I mean, I don't know. Like I've never actually been to any Disneyland World, none of it. So I actually don't have any. I don't really have any opinion on any of this stuff. But I'm just like, okay, I guess this is. I mean, I know what Disney makes now. I sure hate it.
Yeah, crap.
Yeah.
I mean, I first went to Disney World in 1973. It was only 2 years old, and Epcot they were still arguing over what they were going to do with Epcot, how they were going to build it.
Said the Islington girl, the book of unemployed Boba Fett. Yeah, wait. So that's actually like a story, right? There's something happened. I saw this on Bounding into Comics because I pulled up some topics just in case. And I guess so. Boba Fett actor Mark Anthony Austin, what a name, reacts to Disney renaming Boba Fett Slave One. So it was recently revealed that Disney is attempting to rename Fett's Slave One ship to Boba Fett's Starship. What?
There's a reason that it's called the Slave One.
Okay, what is the reason?
It's a literal slave ship, which is a thing in the Star Wars universe where you can rig a ship to be flown remotely by another ship.
Okay. So like kind of like in that, they said that in The Expanse one time, like they slaved a ship to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a whole plot line in the original Thrawn trilogy where they're trying to find the Katana fleet because of how powerful it was. It was basically a fleet of like 500 dreadnoughts or however many dreadnoughts it was that were slaved together to all fight in unison without actual crews.
Oh, okay. Which is one of the things I think that's kind of like a disservice that the prequels introduced, was that if you have all these robots who are soldiers, why would you ever put a person in danger ever again in war? Right? Like, unless you couldn't afford one. I thought that's like, could you imagine like if we could just have like all these autonomous soldiers, but they're like, well, I mean, but people. It's like, wait, but they don't have to die in war. So why do they ever die in war anymore?
Well, the explanation is that post Clone Wars, there's a massive, it's almost like racism against droids that spreads throughout the galaxy. That's why come trilogy or the original trilogy, the only droids you see are like these, the ones that were allowed to remain, the effeminate cucked 3POs and the little trash can R2s and the mouse droids and stuff. But anything that could hold a blaster and wage war, that was scrapped.
And that's the reason why they said when R2-D2 and C-3PO try to go in the cantina at the start, they goes, no droids! Too,
oh, that's actually very interesting. I didn't know that. That seems like some good canon. I like that. All right. Well, so now it's Boba Fett's starship. They're always so creative, too.
What are they going to call it when the Slave 1 gets blown up and he has to start using the Slave 2?
It won't be. It'll be Starship 2. Slave 1 is part of the bad canon. Why do they do this? As for why they're renaming the ship, Lego Star Wars design director Jens Kronvold Fredkinson. I don't like his name as much as I like Mark Anthony Austin. I don't like his. Jens Kronvold Fredrickson. It's actually pretty funny. Kronvold. And it sounds like a character from Star Wars. And Lego Star Wars lead designer Michael Lee Stockwell provided some insight while speaking with Jedi News. What the fuck is Jedi News?
I don't know. I've never heard of them.
Me neither. That's got to be a shill site.
Yeah.
Let's see.
What is the name of it?
Jedi News.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, no. Like if we haven't heard around. We've been around Star Wars since it started almost. There got to be a shill site or something.
I mean, they're selling lots of Star Wars merch. Maybe that's why, because it's a Lego thing. So yeah, just that's basically what they specialize in. Oh, and they're reporting on J.J. Abrams news without being like this piece of shit. So it has to be
pushing the High Republic.
Yeah, it's got to be a shill site. Anywho,
hey, Nick's in the back.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, 32 flavors of Nick Weiser. Hail, brother.
Hey, so earlier I was at the park with my children. They were playing at the splash pad. I was at a distance. I'm like, oh, I should try getting on my phone. And then I was just like, oh, it's not letting me do it. It wouldn't give me a mic, wouldn't give me a camera. I'm like, okay. And then oddly enough, it started to rain. I'm like, okay, maybe it's a signal that I need to go home. And the kids had their time there. So we went home and well, here I am now.
Fucking A.
I know. Isn't that funny how that worked? It was a sign. I needed to get on my computer to talk to you. The phone just wasn't going to have to cut it.
well, hell, Nick. Thanks for coming in, brother.
I was expecting that story to take like a weird tone. Like I got on my phone and then I turned on the podcast and then I was asked to leave the park.
They heard what you were talking about. They're like, please, there's children present, please. I think a red shirt needs to pop out.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. You can take over for me, Nick Weiser.
But I gotta get back to work.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for stopping in.
Congrats again, Matt.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
All right.
All right. Have a great one, brother.
Take care, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, Nick, how's it going, bud?
It's going good, man. I mean, once again, it's been fun. Had a good, solid weekend. Had a delicious burger place out in the area. Discovered the Dick Tracy Museum. Discovered some landmark sites from the Groundhog Day movie because I live by the Woodstock Square, which is where the movie Groundhog Day takes place. So that's absolutely fun.
I thought it takes place in Punxsutawney.
Woodstock, Illinois.
Groundhog Day? No, it takes place in Punxsutawney.
Oh, hold on. They shot it in Woodstock, Illinois.
Okay.
Sorry, they shot it in Woodstock, Illinois.
That's interesting. I always assume they shot it on location, but what it seems obviously logistics generally don't work out like that.
Yeah, it don't. But no, it's been good. I've been getting set up for the next stage. I got tomorrow night. I got Toxic Tuesday. The movie we're covering is The Running Man. It's gonna be insane tomorrow's panel. Toxic Tuesday tomorrow night, and now of course we'll give away our movie for next week tomorrow night at the end. Because what we do is we do our Toxic Tuesday, we cover a movie for like 2 hours, and then we reveal the movie for next week at the end. I already know what the next 2 weeks are gonna be, but we're gonna up the ante in terms of the masculinity, in terms of the gun usage and the accents. It's gonna be ridiculous. Like these next few weeks. We're just going to be oozing in testosterone. We're going to be bathing. We're going to be like a sauna of testosterone. And we're never going to want to get out of that sauna. We're just going to want to stay there forever. It's going to be
everyone's just going to get more muscular just by virtue of listening.
Just by watching it. Watching it. People are just going to feel stronger watching it. So, last week we did Roadhouse, and Jed and Wakedown were here for that. And Roadhouse was a blast.
Awesome.
It was awesome, dude.
I'm a huge Running Man fan. I love that movie. I think it's a really underrated movie.
Oh, it is.
It is.
We're covering it. It's exactly like, hey, if you got time, dude, the invite's sent your way, man. If you got time, 9 p.m. Central.
I got to work, man. I got to work until midnight, I think. Yeah, I'll have to pop it. I'll have to check it out, though. If I can't watch it live, I'll definitely go back and re-listen because I love that movie. And I think it's one of those ones when you go back and watch it, you're kind of shocked at how good it is because the concept is so silly.
Oh, yeah.
But then when you watch it, you're like, this is actually like there's some social commentary going on here, but it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's just kind of a little bit of a flavoring, if you will, and it's an excellent. I think it's a really good, great '80s movie, great '80s action.
Oh yeah, and dude, like the dialogue is aged beautifully well. It's so cheesy and over the top. And like the action's fine, the suits are ridiculous and silly, and a lot of people don't know. Oh, hey, Red Shirt beat me to it. I was gonna say it's a Stephen King adaptation, and that's the truth. A lot of people don't know that. It's just like it's funny because it didn't do bad in the box office, but it didn't do great either. It was just kind of like they saw as it barely broke even, so they didn't really lose money, but it did build a great following over time over the years. Much like Roadhouse. Roadhouse didn't even break even. Roadhouse did bad at the box office. Really bad. And you wouldn't believe that now when you hear how well people speak of it. The Running Man was another one of those movies. And it's just crazy how time does favors for these movies that either do poorly or do very average. And I'm just glad to be covering The Running Man because it's so good. Some of the greatest, I expect a lot of people will be quoting the hell out in the chat. Like our chats have been getting wild. We've been getting up to like 30, 35 people in the chat live. Like I said,
that's
people
awesome.
are turning up for these things.
Hell yeah. That's great, dude.
People are having fun.
That's tight, man. Good for you. There's I was listening to the audiobook of the Stephen King. Yeah, because I was thinking about doing a stream about it myself, and I guess Stephen King hates the movie.
Yes, he hates it with a boiling passion.
Yeah. But like his short story kind of sucks. Like it's not that compelling. Like it's the concept is different. Like I guess it would be instead of in an arena, the way it was originally conceived is that it's all over. It's the world, like the whole country. So you're kind of running all over the country, and people are trying to track you down. And it's like, really, it's a lot less plausible and a lot less engaging. And I don't know. I think that they really made a lot of improvements on it. I think the Running Man
I agree.
Kicks ass.
Wholeheartedly. I'm going to have to say that's one of those rare things where the adaptation improved on elements that the original story couldn't. And I'm going to say couldn't, not didn't, but couldn't.
I agree
because
with that.
really, King he wants to go, with these large scope stories, but they don't always execute well when it comes to translation of something. And this is the proof in the Belgian chocolate pudding of that translation. So here we are. And yeah, oh God, I can't wait. And there's some great acting in there too. Like you got a great villain in there who you just really hate. You're like, I hate this host. I hate him. You want to break through your bubble TV or whatever TVs you're on. You just want to grab him by the neck and just punch him. Like, yeah, take that. Come on,
dude. It's really
doing that.
Yeah, it's very
But
activating.
that's a good villain. That's when you bring a good villain, when he makes you want to punch him in the face. Like, okay,
sure.
that's a good villain.
Absolutely. And there's so much good like 80s like wrestling nostalgia in that one too.
Mhm.
It's like makes it so much fun.
Freedom.
Yeah.
So
And
good.
who was the opera guy who like electrocuted people or whatever?
Buzzsaw?
Yeah.
Was
What's
it
it called?
Buzzsaw? Buzzsaw?
I don't
Yeah.
even. I just remember there was a guy who like sang opera. He's like this big fat guy.
I know
But
you're
he also
talking
had, like,
about.
I think he had like electrical powers or something. It's like it was such a strange choice that worked for whatever reason. Like
Mhm.
it was so interesting too because there's kind of like in the beginning there's like that commentary on kind of like taking things out of context, like fake news, kind of like essentially like a deep fake from like the 80s, and it's like that's a worthwhile conversation to be having, and it's like a good framing for this kind of dystopian movie.
Mhm.
Well, Matt, even at the end, they changed the ending to digitally enhanced because, a lot of people's already seen it. We're not spoiling it. But at the end, they digitally enhanced, he got killed, It's fake news right there, you
Yep.
know?
Right.
100%.
Yeah, dude, they preceded a lot of those things.
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of weird how that movie did that? Like they precede a lot of things that end up playing out in today in the same way, but also different from Idiocracy. I'd actually say so far Running Man has had more real life accuracies, if anything. I see Red Shirt's comment about Richard Dawson made that movie. I would say he half made that movie, and the reason why I say half is because some of the greatest Arnold one-liners are in that movie, and I'd say that's the other half that made that movie. There are some of the most ridiculous one-liners. When you hear some of these lines, which I will refuse to not say, and guys, please don't say it, but it's just for the sake of tomorrow's panel. They're so ridiculous. You there's no way you could have scripted them. You don't read these lines like, yeah, that's a line you should say. That's it. That's gonna strike with the audience hard. It's just like, wow. But no, these are totally like winging it, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think it's dope. And Richard Dawson, didn't he receive like backlash, or wasn't he upset with his portrayal or something like that? Wasn't there some controversy around it because he was sort of so beloved, and him playing such a piece of shit, I think was like, I don't know. There's something
who are
about
like,
it.
Yeah, there's some people who are like, hey, this is usually not you, and that's the thing. But that shows you once again why Dawson is such a great actor, because he showed he can play the other side of that same coin, translate from good to evil. And I don't mind certain actors when they're basically the same character, as long as it's really well executed. I mean, Owen Wilson is basically the proof in the pudding of that. He's Owen Wilson in every movie. It just happens to be very charismatic and entertaining.
Whoa.
But there's something to add for someone who could play anyone and not make themselves a self-insert.
No, 100%.
And it shows you what a truly talented individual is. And yeah, he's just proof that that's happened. Once he made for such a memorable villain in that movie. And you can't have a great hero without a great villain to complement him. And the two really balance each other out.
Like you said, it was the Family Feud fans, because he would give people kisses and hug people and everything else on the Family Feud, and then you actually got to see the other side of him, and all the Family Feud fans just went
New Bomb Turk.
Yeah.
They grew up with that, and that's the thing, and that's why you get an actor like that. I mean, I could see if you're someone who grew up with the nostalgia of that, you're like, oh, this is not who he is. But the thing is, he took that role for a reason, and he showed what he can do. And it's just, a lot of people don't always translate those things. They always see, sometimes when you see people play like a hero, they're like, oh, this guy cannot play a villain ever. Or like when someone's a villain, they can't play a hero ever. It's just like, as long as they can pull it off, why does this matter?
Well, it does. The perception does matter, and I think there was an interesting kind of play with perception with Jerry Lewis when he played Jerry Langford in
Okay.
King of Comedy, which is a De Niro movie, a De Niro Scorsese movie, where De Niro is like this delusional wannabe comedian who just imagines himself like as Jerry Langford, as like, you know, the Johnny Carson essentially, and he's like crazy, like he's really like unhinged and kind of ends up like stalking the Jerry Langford, this like Jerry Lewis character. And so Jerry Lewis isn't really like, he's the villain to the protagonist, but he just kind of comes across sort of like not a jerk, but just someone who's just like, would you fuck off, you crazy lunatic? Where he's always been such a, you know, funny, fun loving guy. And I think it's an interesting thing to play against your type or against people's expectations of you, because it does give the audience like it's sort of like it's very fresh and it's very it plays with your expectations, but I think can really kind of deepen an experience if you don't know that it's coming.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I get where that comes from. It's just awesome to see actors pull off what you don't expect from them. And yeah, and you're right, perception is major. So, and yeah, there are some guys who are villains and they want to stick to being villains, and they are beautifully known as villains. Yeah, I'm just not a one size fits all. I mean, you do what works best for you.
Yeah,
what works best for you. And some people, they just want to stick to like being villains. Hey, man, just be an entertaining villain, then we're all gravy, and then some. Yes.
Yeah. Well, we have another person join the stream who's relatively new to the channel, but has been made a pretty good impact, and he's a big him and Vigilante are partners in crime, and let's welcome 24/7 Fusion Media.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hey, man.
Hey,
Thanks for
dude.
coming up.
Hey, 24, blow that shit up.
Oh, you know it, man. How y'all doing?
I know. What's up, brother?
Good, man.
Thanks for stopping in, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, man, I appreciate the invite, man. You know, congratulations, man. 1 year.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to the next few years, man.
Right on. Thanks a lot, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
I appreciate
and I'm talking
it.
about all of us, man. You know, yeah, man. There's there's a lot of things to be done, man, and we're just getting started.
Absolutely.
Onwards and upwards.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Vigilante says like he feels like we're like in the new Rat Pack, and I love that analogy.
Oh, that it's true. Like,
yeah, for
seriously.
real, man.
Yeah.
You know, like I was telling Vigilante one day, I was telling him like, hey, man, you know, all the big stuff that's going on with folks is what's happening with all the, the bigger channels. And I said, well, it's time for, the cats that just started within the last year or two to start making their waves and letting their presence be known, man. You know, I know that, we like to have a good time and kick it, and do some things, but there's, being in the industry and getting into YouTube is a big thing. I know it is for me. And being here for the last year and a half, I've met a lot of great people, man. All of you guys, everybody on the panel, the people in the chat, everybody's wonderful. And I know the thing is like we're starting to get more serious about it. Of course, we fucking around trying to, feel our way through it. But I think at this point, we, don't know. I was hopefully, I'm we're all in the majority, but we all want to see something come out of this, man. I think we've put too much time into it. Even when we were fucking around and having a good time, just let it waste away and let nothing come of this. So if there's something to be done, I think it's about time for us to make the push, man, and let folks know that we're here, man.
Collaborate.
I love it. Yeah,
Yes, sir, dude.
Absolutely.
We have arrived. 24. We have arrived.
Of course,
Yeah.
man. Shit,
Which
man.
reminds me, Nick, I was going to tell you. If
Hell
you
yeah,
want,
brother.
I could take Running Man and add those overlays like I did for MacGyver, then rip the sound off it so there's no chance of turning the volume up, and send that to you for tomorrow night.
Oh,
That's something to think about. I got to think of it because obviously 2 weeks in a row getting copyright claim.
No, Nick, you know
I
the
don't
reason why you got
push my
hit is
luck.
because you had the sound up. That's what I'm thinking it was.
Yeah, but we had no sound whatsoever for Over the Top, remember? And we still got hit with the
that
claim.
was true.
Luckily, it's not a strike.
But you
we
also
had
didn't
just
have
a
any sort of
visual.
overlay.
Now, what's overlay? I'm going to admit, I don't know what exactly is overlay.
It's just a semi-transparent image that sits on top of the image of the video itself, so that it's you're not looking directly at it.
The EFAP guys do it sometimes when they want to, show a specific clip of like Wonder Woman or something like that. They'll put like kind of just a semi-opaque like image over the top of it so that the YouTube like filter algorithms can't pick it up.
And that's what we did yesterday for our channel too. We always have that up now because Mark did that for us.
Can we get together before stream and we can do a test run of it? Would that be all right on your end?
Yeah.
And we'll give it a test run, and if it looks like we'll do it, we'll give it a go. Yeah, that'd be great, dude.
I'll do the whole video and upload it to YouTube and let it run through checks.
Cool. It's on like Donkey and Diddy Kong, my friend.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Can't wait for tomorrow.
Yeah. Hey, look at, to 24/7's point, which I think is really dope. The Ginger Ninja saying, busting my ass over here to have something to give you guys in Vegas. We got to be the creators now, the new generation. And it's like, yeah, man, there's something about that. And it's like, it's really cool to be able to do this. There's a freedom in it. There's a liberation, personally for me. And then to like actually be a part of like a real conversation with like 24/7 said some great people. It's a privilege, and it really is a privilege. And I love doing it.
Well, Matt, Gary did say sooner or later we would have to take over. So
he's not wrong.
Eventually, the mantle has to be passed, and I feel like we got the right amount of fine gentlemen here. You got your yellow flashes like 24/7, and you got your neurotic like Foul Ball Productions, and then I like to say I'm gonna make sure Dave Portnoy had sex with Yellow Flash and then gave a baby of Razor Fist. That's what I like to say.
Hey, Matt, what did you think our channel would be?
Oh, shit.
I don't know. I mean, like I'm still kind of reeling at you comparing me to Nerdrotic. That's like a lot. Like,
I look at the equivalent because based off the content that's being posted, because Nerdrotic has had his neat moments of coverage of the way he covers certain shows. You had that with The Expanse, so that is where your translation coverage in 24/7 with his news updates. I want to live in a world where like I start seeing 2 to 3 videos a day from 24/7.
Fun fact. According to Gary himself, The Expanse video is the one that blew him up too.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
that's right.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's what got me. That's wild. That's a good point. Yeah, and honestly, like, shout out to Gary just in general because I was thinking about starting a channel anyway, but then all of his encouragement, to people just saying you guys should do it. We need more people, we need more voices, independent creators, really gave me that push where like when you're kind of waffling with that self-doubt and you're like, yeah, I don't know, maybe not. Like, is this going to be right for me? It's like having that encouraging voice really helped push me to do it. And I'm very grateful to Gary to, him for what he was saying. It really helped. It's like pretty much a big reason why I'm here. So.
Yeah, no, and that's awesome, dude. And right now, I obviously you got monetized. You had a video that changed a lot of things. I'd say I'd make the argument you had 2 videos that changed a lot of things, and it's just funny how that happens. Like once again, there's no one straight path to this YouTube journey. Everyone's going to have their own story, and some people are going to have videos that blow up, and there are people who have I guess you could say steady amounts of views, but they slowly climb up the ladders. And either or is fine, man. Once again, for me, it's always about the loyalty, because I look at for me, I look at an inspiration like Comics Division. He's probably got around nearly 7,000 subscribers. But when he goes live, people turn up like a son of a, But there are people who literally have thousands more, and when they go live, they don't get half of what he attracts. And what I see what Comics has is loyalty. That's like what I want. It's not about. I want to have people like, okay, when Nick is going up, I got to turn up for that. So that's why Toxic Tuesday's been a success.
I'll tell you what else Comics has is the balls to tell people the truth.
Yes.
Fucking A.
That's true.
And he doesn't give a fuck. And I was going to say, for better or worse, I do have some pretty good loyalty. I mean,
yes, you do.
I do get stuck with sentient dildo, so that's not great. But I get like the Islington girl, so it balances
awesome.
out. What I mean?
Yeah, she's awesome. Yeah,
I like Matt. I'm even shocked because I thought when I got to come on that one time, I was like, oh, it's just going to be a one-time thing. I've literally I'm on every week now, so I'm like. And like I said the other night, this is one of my favorite parts of the week is the MF cocktail. So it is. It
fun.
is.
It's so much fun.
I love it. It's and then I was just like, and I feel so thankful to be a part of that every week.
Thanks,
you know.
Hey, dude, Jed, it's great to have you, man. It's really fun. I mean, you stayed with us 7 hours the other night. I mean,
yeah,
Christ.
7 hours. If
I'm devoted and loyal, man. So you know.
You are, Jed. That's insane. Like if I didn't have work in the morning, which I did, by the way, I would have easily have got. Yeah, I work at 8 a.m. the next day. If I
I know
I
you
slept
would
with you guys till 2 a.m.
That was dope.
I remember going to bed at 2 a.m. I was thinking, what am I doing? I'm gonna be so late to work, and I woke up and I made it beyond on time. But I was just I keep saying I'm never gonna do this again, but here I am still doing it again. The next time I show up on the launch, I know I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna have work again, 7 a.m. looking like I partied like Charlie Sheen style, by winning and all, Tiger Blood included. And there were people were just be like, "What were you doing? You wouldn't understand. You don't understand." That's the beauty of this whole, just the platform, but also the community. This, I guess you could say, this sub community, because we kick it like a bunch of guys at a bar on a Friday night.
Yeah,
we get into some heated discussion, but we're also bros at the end of the day. We just we're very passionate, and we love to have that truly honest discussion.
And it's really fun. I mean, it's a fun place to do it.
Blast.
And because it's a hang, it's not really like a structured show. Like we can get into like whatever wild topics we want to talk about, so long as we, do it, try not to get ourselves kicked off. But I mean,
I'm shocked we haven't so far. So.
Yeah, we're doing it pretty good. I think we're doing pretty good. There's a few times where like people were like vigilante, other people were like, get off this topic, like move on.
Vince is like, you need to get off this topic right now.
You just need to make some overlays like I made that say we're not experts in anything. Viewer discretion advised.
Would that cover? I don't even know if that is enough of a disclaimer, because like YouTube, I don't know. They get.
That's how a lot of people get away with it. Is really they make it very clear, like we're not experts. These are personal opinions. Go talk to your doctor. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hail Ginger Ninja. Thanks, brother. He's taken off, and I appreciate the support, man.
Later.
Right
Take care, man.
I sent you dildos as I'm too milquetoast to get kicked off, Matt. Okay, well, the new year, I'm controversial, Matt. I'm gonna make some edgy statements.
That's where he makes up for it, because I come on there and sometimes I, light the fires on there too. So,
also, Finite San Antonio is warning me. FYI, Matt, if Comics ask me to go down to the range, don't do it. Is he gonna murder me? I don't want to.
You need to go to the range with him so he can explain to you what he said on Friday night. Okay.
Yeah. And he's gonna be like, and listen, this is what I was saying. I was like, oh yeah, no, totally. These are good points. I agree.
It's gonna be like Jack Black in The Jackal. I need you to go down there and hold this cigarette pack.
Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, no, that's actually, I mean, I remember enjoying that movie. I haven't seen it since it came out, but I thought that was a pretty good one. Nick, you ever seen The Jackal?
Yeah.
I have not seen it, but one day, sometime between now and forever, I will.
Yeah, it's one of those. I think it's like a '90s Bruce Willis action movie where he plays like this ice cold like assassin, and Richard Gere is like an IRA. Do you remember the plot? Wait, I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, Richard Gere is an IRA terrorist that they pull out of prison. And Interpol pulls him out of prison to hunt down the Jackal, and the Jackal is in America trying to assassinate some kind of, I don't remember who, some political rival.
Yeah, something like that. There were some memorable moments. Like there was this, Bruce Willis goes to have this platform designed for his gun, and it was like some shady, like off the radar kind of guy. And it's Jack Black, and somehow like Bruce Willis knows that the platform's off by like a few millimeters, and Jack Black's like, no, it fucking isn't. And so they're like, all right, well, let's take it out to the range and check it. And so then like Bruce Willis like turns the gun on him and like tells him to run. And so he runs, and then he's like, okay, like, hold up that packet of cigarettes. And like Bruce Willis like takes the little camera and like aims it right at the packet of cigarettes, and he fires, and it blows Jack Black's hand off. Like right, like at the wrist. And he's like, he goes, told you it was off. And-
dude.
yeah.
That sounds okay. I'm sold on watching that, by the way. Thank you. I'm every fiber of my being is in on that. So
It was
that's
pretty
a must
cool.
now.
All right, if you're already in, I don't want to spoil too much because there was like one
No,
thing.
I'm
that
in.
was-
You sold
yeah.
me.
All right, cool.
That's all. See, that's all you needed to do is just tell me a little about it, and I'm like, tell me more. But really, don't, now you don't need to tell me more. But now you sold me enough, or you've told me enough. So thank you.
Yeah, that's how I
got a
feel
great
about.
cast.
Yeah, it
I
does.
was like, yeah, you mentioned Richard Gere's in it. So like, dude, I'm
Sidney
like,
Poitier.
oh!
Oh yeah, Sidney Poitier. Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah. I mean, I remember it was pretty good. Like, I don't think it's going to be like genius, but it definitely, it kind of, just like one of those fun, like, like political action movies, for like Air Force One or something like that,
Oh, dude, I love me some Air Force One. And I'm glad you mentioned Air Force
Yeah,
One because it
yeah.
reminds me of Harrison Ford. I told my girlfriend last night I'm legitimately worried about the well-being of Harrison Ford. The fact that he got injured
Oh
again.
my god!
And while making this movie, I just like, even if I said, even if that fourth movie somehow never came out and this is magically the fourth movie, or even if wokeness was never a thing, I'd still say this movie shouldn't come out because he is so damaged with all these injuries over the years that he continues to increasingly get. When I hear about him getting injured, get to a point where the whole set is stopped around the main character, I'm like, guys, just cancel the movie. What if
You're
he
gonna kill this
does-
old man.
What if he does? What if he does?
I don't know.
I don't put it past that to happen.
Real quick, I have to give a shout to the great Eric K.
Eric K.
Whom I got to meet in person in
Yep.
Vegas, and he
Can't wait to
sent
do it
me
again.
and he sent me $20. Thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate that. He says, "Congrats on 1 year. I knew you could do it."
Nice.
Thanks a lot, man. Having the support of Eric K is a really great thing, and he's a great dude. He's a Modrotic Wrench, like the Modrotic Wrench, and is a supporter of all of us very generously. Like he's been on the Cocktail Lounge. Eric K is a great motherfucker, and I'm very glad that I know you, and I really appreciate the money and the sentiment. Really is what matters. So thank you, dude. I really appreciate that. Plus, he bought my merch. How do you not love a guy?
He bought your merch.
He bought my merch. I always forget to link that. I forget, I should, but I honestly
I know
don't.
you had merch.
Link it up.
See,
Come on.
wait, didn't even know I had it. Yeah, I'm obviously bad at promoting it. I really, really should. I pledge to do better.
Do better.
Way better.
I'm gonna do better. Yeah.
Do better. Come on, guys. Do better.
Do better.
But Nick, I 100% think you're right. It's it's a movie absolutely no one asked for. It's a dead franchise, and it's even more the character that Harrison Ford portrays is, it's so beyond when we ever really needed it. And it's like, this and it's already off to a bumpy start. It's like, do you remember that musical, the Spider-Man musical, Into Dark?
It only went for like a handful of shows, and if I'm not mistaken, the main dude, he hurt himself, man, and actually they were hurting themselves right before they actually went on Broadway to show it, but it only lasted like maybe a handful of shows. And actually, I want to see it. It's, it's actually going for like $15-$20. You can actually get it online. You can actually purchase it. Yeah. You could purchase. There's that one. There's Superman the musical. You can get. There's a few of them. Yeah, man. You'd be surprised, man.
It reminds me, like, the Indiana Jones reminds me of that Spider-Man musical, because like when you first heard about the Spider-Man musical, you're like, why? A Spider-Man musical? At least that was my impression. And I feel like that was a lot of other people's. And it just felt like the price just kept rising. And then the injuries just kept piling up. And there was so much evidence to just abandon this thing. And they never did. And I think that's what we're kind of facing here with this Indiana Jones thing. It's like, it's got bad fan will. No one wants it. Now Indiana Jones, it's like he's seriously injured. Like it's like it stopped production.
Well, here's a dark theory for you. Maybe they're hoping that he'll die. Because this thing would immortalize that film, and it would actually make money.
You're right.
See, I would if that were the case, I still wouldn't give it money. I'm really like I am so dead set on not giving this movie any money. I don't want a legal download. I want to red box it. I did not finish the fourth movie, and I have left it at that. I've made my peace with this. It's the thing is like the remakes and the sequels nobody asked for. Like I love Demolition Man, but we don't need a sequel to that. None of these things we
Wait till
don't
you get the
need
remake.
Are they doing that?
I'm just giving an example. Watch, I say that now later today. We're gonna find out from Yellow Flash or somebody. Demolition Man sequel or remake that you did not ask for, but you're gonna get anyways is coming. You guys wait. It's gonna be inclusive, and Wesley Snipes is gonna be a nice boy. It's just gonna be like really weird because like Wesley Snipes had that whole Dennis Rodman thing going on when he did that movie, and
Yeah,
that
he did.
movie. Oh, that's such a great movie. And Time did once again many favors for that movie. And like The Running Man, like Idiocracy before it, had a lot of preceding elements that kind of depict some of the chilling things going on today. If you don't remember, I would say give it a rewatch, and you will know exactly where I'm coming from on this.
Well, I think that was like a story during like quarantine, during the lockdowns and stuff. Like
it?
Yeah, like it came out and people were just like talking about how like eerie a lot of the parallels are, a lot of the things that like, you know, have come true. And there's like, wow, they really predicted the future right in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. Another movie that became a documentary of sorts.
Yeah. Oh, and here's thank you, Wait Down. Sent us a link to an article from the Lad Bible saying Sylvester Stallone confirms Demolition Man 2 is happening.
Yeah, that was actually a few months ago when that was
last year. It says.
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea. Wow, I didn't know that. We're living in the age of the remake and the reboot. The next classic to get an unexpected sequel is Demolition Man, probably because of all like the press that got drummed up during quarantine. That's what I would think.
You know, this movie had such a definitive ending,
right?
That it closed the door to a point where we did not need a sequel for it. Like, not every single thing needs to be a franchise or have a continuing story. The one thing, if there's something that was open ended, like the little plot thread dangling, we're like, whoa, hold up, this is a major thing that could use some resolving. But there was absolutely nothing in this movie. Now, what they're probably going to do is just undo things that may have happened in this first movie and say, okay, we're going to give us a reason to have this sequel.
Have we heard anything since?
No.
You know, that would have been going into all the bullshit. It was in May of 2020.
So it might just be a story. Sometimes they just announce these things to get like to gauge, get hype and see if the fans are into it. And it's like if we never get it, they're like, there's no accountability. No one will care. It's not gonna be like, what the hell happened? Like, you know, most people even forget it even came up.
Oh, all right. So, unfortunately, this is the part where I got to bust tail and leave.
That's all right, brother.
And I hate that I can't stick around long here, but duty calls, and I got that dad life calling on me right now to respond to the dad calls.
That's okay, brother.
Anyways, it's been awesome. Matt, congratulations. I can't wait till I see you hit 50,000 and beyond. I look forward to Vegas. We're going to make a lot of bad decisions. It's going to be great.
Hell yeah.
And for those in the chat, I'm just going to do an honorable plug. I have Toxic Tuesday. Tomorrow night, we'll be talking The Running Man. So if you somehow are not subscribed, subscribe to my channel. And good seeing you all in the chat. And 24, Jed, Wake Down, Matt, you all have a fine afternoon, guys.
Hey, you do the same, man. Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Later, guys. Take care.
Bye, buddy.
Hey, you do the same, man.
Peace. Right on. So 24/7, I was kind of curious because I know you and Vigilante are tight, and you've been on this channel and stuff like that. And I've checked out some of your videos, but
what's up?
I'm not. How did you get into this? How did you get into YouTube and all that?
Oh, good question. Actually, I was supposed to have jumped in a few years ago, but unfortunately, things didn't allow me to actually start when I wanted to, so I had to wait about almost 2 years later, about a year or two later, and then at the beginning of 2020, I jumped in, but then all of a sudden, not even like 2 months later, the goof hit. So it's like YouTube on a whole level, you know. So it's basically jumping in and experiencing at a time where it was different than what has been the other years prior to it, because of course it was just people doing their thing, but then the world gets hit with, you know, this thing that everybody's on lockdown all at the same time. And basically, you know, we're all, you know, all of us that jumped in last year basically jumped in at a time. Shit, man. No, I'm telling you, this is actually history, man. I've never seen anything in any kind of book.
Word.
That you saw almost a whole world just stop all at once. Maybe certain parts of you know, different countries, different parts of the world, but not the whole world at once. And for us to jump in at a time like this, we jumped in at the most difficult, probably one of the hardest times ever, man, to just jump in and take part of YouTube, man, if anything. And boom, man, we're dealing with YouTube on a whole separate circumstance, just because of, you know, what's hit, man. And I didn't think it would be like this, man. I thought it would be something different, but I'm not complaining. I just had a different just
expectation.
Right. And again, everything changed just because of how the world was affected. It changed YouTube itself, man. And
what initially brought you to it? Like, what was the appeal? Did you want to like talk culture war? Or did you want to talk politics or music, or like what was it?
To be honest, man, you know, when I first saw YouTube, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dose of Fusi Tube.
I'm not.
He's a YouTuber, got like 10 million subscribers, man.
Oh wow.
Basically is turning on YouTube and just watching YouTube. Think about YouTube about 7 years ago was very different than YouTube today. And some people still do it, but it's basically when you turn on your camera, you're walking around your house and you're showing the shit you're doing and you're pulling jokes and pranks on people. And it was all the fun shit that made people want to watch YouTube.
Okay.
It was all the cool shit, you know. It was very, how can I say this? Basically, folks was letting us into their homes, and we were sitting there watching, you know, people have fun, pool parties. Like I say, it was a time where people were doing a lot of the pranks and the jokes, and it was just a fun time to watch. It was a lot of laughing, and it was more of a good time. And that was more of what I was looking at, and was like, you know what, it would be cool just to turn on my camera and invite everybody into my house, and they'll watch me work out, watch me cook, you know, watch me hang out with the homeboys and do all this other shit. And it was like, you know, to see YouTube having basically a Jersey Shore kind of feel when you turn it on and you watch it, and everybody's kicking it and having a good time, and they drinking and they doing all kind of shit, chasing tail and doing whatever, man. It's like
it's like a life blog.
Yeah, man, it was cool, man. And I was and that's what I just that's what I saw a lot of, man. And it made YouTube fun. And it was just, and then things started changing after a while, the rules and of YouTube and the things you can do and the things you couldn't do. And you know, YouTube is getting in trouble, you know, for all kind of wild shit. And it was just, and then it just more. And then it was like when like what was that, Paul like between PewDiePie and Paul, what's his face? Everybody fucking,
I don't know.
His brother, man. What's Paul? What the fuck? Well, the thing is, they started getting in trouble, and basically, you know, YouTube got hit in the nuts with
is that like when PewDiePie said the Nazi
PewDiePie
thing?
and all that shit, you know, about 4 or 5 years ago, and then it started changing a little bit more and a little bit more, and then it was just, and then it just got to the point to where it is now. And only certain people can say certain things and other people can't. And then the UFO community, you know, got fucking swept up. And then it was just all this, you know, Alex Jones and just all the different things. Man, I'm talking about from all the different parts of YouTube started hitting, man.
That's a good point. You know what? I kind of forgot about that because there used to be so many just like conspiracy theory videos and stuff that was like independent research. It was like really fascinating shit. Like I remember I watched like Eyes Wide Shut, and then I was like, what did I just watch? And then just watched like a bunch of these videos, and I was like, what the fuck? Like this is the world. And yeah, that's all gone. And it really is like ad friendly and like, you know, just like everything else that becomes popular or mainstream, it just becomes sanitized. The edges get sanded off. It needs to fit into this, like it needs to fit right in here. Like, and it's wild, dude. Some people are like, they're just kind of stupid or like unfamiliar with like the nature of the world. Like, for instance, I worked at a place that would put out, it was a cheese shop, and they would put out like videos or whatever, like doing their stuff. And then at the end, you know, you get a bunch of suggestions, right? And it was like, it's, you know, so when that came up, the owner who didn't know anything about YouTube was like, wait, why are those all on our video? I'm like, no, that's on like every time you watch YouTube, like they give you more suggestions. He's like, yeah, but there could be pornography on there. I'm like, but it's like a personalized thing. It's got nothing to do. Like, no, I don't want to be associated with that. It could make the brand look bad. And I was just like, oh my God, like you just don't understand this at all. Like you don't get that you don't get it. And it's like, but that's where all that shit came from, because the advertisers were like, well, you know, people are going to go to the advertisers if the content's not good. It's like no one associates the ad with the video. Like I don't think if there's a Hyundai ad on this video that me and Hyundai have some kind of partnership. Like they don't sponsor my content. It's just ads that they just put out there. But like people get all like, whoa, like butthurt and like, well, you're going to allow this type of content to have advertised. It's like, who gives a fuck? Who cares? Yeah. People watch it. People sell shit. What's the difference? But yeah, it all just gets like that. And that's what it is now.
I don't see what should matter. Even if it's content that YouTube deems negative, it's not YouTube's place to determine what that is. People are still watching the video. If you leave them advertised, if you leave them monetized, then you'll still make money off of them. You're literally taking money from yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like I understand having guidelines. Like I think, you know, ultimately it was like, it's good to have platforms with no porn, because they get to the point where it either becomes all porn or it's like a distraction while you're trying to just, you know, watch like whatever. And now you're all of a sudden you know what I mean? Yeah. And you're just seeing people fuck and you're like, that's not the idea here. So I understand that, but then beyond that, I just think it's kind of like, well, you know, it is what it is. Like, I just feel like they should just tell people to kind of go screw, you know, like, oh, well, sorry, you're upset. That's the end of this though.
But if you're on the right end of the spectrum, narrative-wise, you can put porn on YouTube.
I guess that's true. I mean, if you wanted to do yoga, you can do nude yoga. I mean, that's fine. I mean, it's not pornography, but
have you seen the two guys that play Dick or Dildo?
What?
No.
That's a thing on YouTube.
Oh, or you know, there's a channel called Ifrit.
I don't know what that one is.
Ooh. Yeah, man. Just let's say a chick just puts on nothing but like lingerie and swimsuits and shit like that, man, and be bouncing around and all kind of, you know, stuff like that. And you know, there's all kind of shit out there, man.
Oh yeah, 24. There are I don't know if anybody knows Snow Dub, but Snow Dub's freaking awesome. I was on his show on Cotton Connection this last Saturday night. It was hilariously awesome. Go check him out on YouTube. I was on there and Snow Dub took a ton of stuff that was already on YouTube and he uses it. And he goes, it's YouTube approved. We literally took this off of YouTube. Okay, yes. Yeah. So.
And does anything come of it? Like if you like,
he hasn't got hit yet. So.
That's so weird. It's just like Sentient Dildo brings up an interesting point. He says it wasn't about advertisers. It was a power play by corporate media. They just used the advertisers. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I mean, that's probably true.
Yeah.
I doubt that a whole lot of advertisers were going through YouTube, or the people that work for the companies they were advertising. Let's say that. Like you used Hyundai as an example. I doubt very many Hyundai employees were going through YouTube and seeing their ads on certain videos and raising hell about it.
Yeah.
That was YouTube getting offended for them.
Yeah, that's a good point. And also because like people, it would have to be like, maybe the conspiracy theory thing, but like in order for people to organize independent, it has to be some kind of like lightning rod topic, right? Just protecting the children, or just kind of like like it doesn't usually. You need like a collective to really make an impact, and it's like I think. Yeah, like what would be the collective that would like suitable content for YouTube? Like, I mean, unless it's some kind of race thing or something like that like rallies a lot of people behind it. Yeah, I can't.
Well, Matt, the thing that set it off, I think it was the first or second time, was PewDiePie when he had that thing up, and it was just a joke. But then advertisers got in there, especially Coke, and said, "Hey, that's not right. We're gonna pull the ads." And then
it's like a threat to YouTube. Like, hey, YouTube, we're not gonna advertise on your platform ever again.
Well,
and then
I'm sorry. I was just thinking. What was crazy was when YouTube was blowing up, and they didn't have any advertisers. Advertisers was trying to get onto YouTube because they were looking at how many people were putting their eyes on YouTube, and they were like, "Yo, if we could put our commercials." So basically, the advertisers needed YouTube more than YouTube needed the advertisers. And what happened was, after YouTube started seeing the money and how many people were willing to advertise, then all of a sudden it became a problem to the advertisers, because that's when you had to curb your entertainment, just for the simple fact that now it's a Coke commercial, it's a car commercial, it's a toy commercial. So now like things had to get a little bit more tuned to what the advertisers. But the thing is, we never needed the advertisers to begin with. But
we never did.
Started seeing the money from what the advertisers were willing to dish out. Then all of a sudden, it came down to the creators having to, stop with so many F-bombs, and we had to stop, doing so much shit. And then all of a sudden, a lot of content had to be changed, and that's when the shit for the kids came in, and a lot of people were had to sit there and deal with that old child restriction shit. Like, what was that? Like a year and a half, like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
It was like 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
I should make a second channel called the Open Manifesto, and just post like super left content and see if it blows up past the way down.
Oh hell, down, dude! He would blow
That's interesting. That's an interesting like experiment. Like, just say the right things. You know what I mean? Like, create like a fake Twitter.
Right.
Like, don't use your face. Like, use like a different avatar or something like that.
Whole new Gmail account. Just like start over and like see if it takes as long as it did to build, like I built the weight down, or if it just.
That's a really interesting experiment.
Because there was another thing, Matt, that I was talking about, because Raquel told me that some of our channels, and I think some of our other channels are being blocked on purpose.
I believe. I mean, I'm
shadow banning.
I'm 100% sure of that.
Even our channel, which ain't most of the time is not that bad, but we get a little bit rowdy up on there.
I have no other conclusion to draw other than that's what's going on with my channel, because like the channel growth is so inconsistent.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I'll lose subs all the time. I'm like, who is actively unsubbing to a channel with 1,000 subs? Like, well, how many people are going out of their way to be like, nah, and click unsubscribe? I don't buy it. It seems, I mean, it just feels like YouTube's working against you.
Well,
but hold on.
Somebody else made the point. When you're watching YouTube just for entertainment, and a channel that you used to watch starts making content you don't like, how quickly do you unsub, or do you just stop watching and come back in a couple months and see what they're doing?
I just stop watching and come back. Yeah,
the second one. But guys, we got to put a pause on this conversation, because we're joined by someone who is very special to me and very special to the channel, because he's the first person that I ever streamed with that wasn't just me ranting about movies. She moved on to greener pastures. She has other things going on. But my friend Lindsay is joining us. Hi, Lindsay.
Hi.
How's it going?
Hello.
Pretty good. How are you guys?
Oh,
doing well.
Good.
I dove into a pretty deep conversation.
Hey, Lindsay.
Hiding you on your profiles.
Yeah, well, we have theories. There's no way to know, but you just wonder. It's like sometimes things just don't grow the way they should. Like, I had this like a few weeks here on YouTube where like none of my videos would get over like, I don't know, 40, 50 views. And I'm like, that's not even common for my channel. Like, everything else does. So it was like, you start to get conspiracy theory because you're just like, why is it not growing the way it used to? And it's like it's very rhythmic. So I don't know. We have a lot of questions. Look at the chat. Sentient saying, "Ooh, a woman," and APM is like, "Oh God, it's a girl." And Snorted Poopa says, "Hello, Lindsay. Are you a girl?"
I am.
Yes. This is.
I'm not going to prove it. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Please don't, because that'll get us all kicked off. We don't need that. Unless you're doing yoga, in which case it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But no, but me and Lindsay used to do we used to do some kind of streams where I guess like, the concept was it was the Matt and Lindsay show. We would just talk about like whatever. But the concept was I would bring some movie that I liked, and like Lindsay would bring a movie that she liked, and we would talk about it and kind of go back and forth. And that was a fun time for a while. Yeah.
It was. Yes.
It was.
I was very bad at reviewing movies I didn't like, though. We discovered this.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Like if Lindsay didn't like it, she's just like nothing to say.
To be fair, I'm bad at reviewing movies I did like, so.
It's tough. It is.
Yeah, right on. Well, how have you been, Lindsay? How are things?
Pretty good. It's really hot up here right now. I mean, I don't know if I can complain. I don't know where you guys are, but it's like getting over 100 and I'm not loving it, but at least I have AC, so that's nice. And I'm moving, but it's hot there too, so that's not going to help. But either way, that's what's going on with me.
Right on. Yeah. Yeah, we were just talking, I guess about YouTube and this, that, and the other, but yeah, it's one of the first, I think the first stream we ever did, which was actually really fun. And I've listened back on it and I still like it to this day, considering it was about the Amazon Lord of the Rings. Like that show. You remember going back?
Yeah, I kind of forgot that was even supposed to come out. Like, what's happening with that?
We're not sure. I mean, it's contractually has to come out soon, based on the deal that they signed. And there's a lot of speculation that it's going to be woke and it's going to be, have representation heavy, and they're going to try to use it as a platform instead of just talking about, just translating it into good content. So
get ready for gay hobbits fucking.
Yeah. I mean, that's a concern. Like, it's a genuine concern. Like, everything
it's
they
just
do.
a concern when it messes with the story. It's just like, you're like, did we need that, like, specifically?
Yeah,
or...
it's not a concern because we care that there's gay
Right.
people in the story. It's a concern because that doesn't belong in Tolkien's works.
Right, that too. It's a different world entirely than our world, and to try and, like, impose all of our stuff into it is just silly.
Yeah, it is. And it becomes this whole thing. Would you consider coming back and talking on the channel if to cover the Lord of the Rings show if it ever comes out?
Yeah, definitely. It'll be hard to watch, though, if it's terrible.
Yeah, no, but that's like, that's even more like more, exciting content, because Lindsay's, I mean, I watched the Lord of the Rings when it came out and I was a big fan, but Lindsay's the one who really is like, no, like go deeper, like check it out, and started like turn me on to like all the special features. And I was so blown away by, I guess I kind of missed it. I don't know, just the vibrancy of the world. And I credit Lindsay with like my fandom of the Lord of the Rings. So always.
Also, I think you had only seen the theatrical version, and I showed you the like extended versions.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I know Lindsay's a big Lord of the Rings nerd, and so that's why I'd love to bring you back for that. But yeah,
be fun.
Right on. Well, let's do that in the future. You guys got anything going on? Oh yeah, there is something I wanted to show you guys. This is I haven't actually watched it, but apparently Data Racer put out this video. Quentin Tarantino blasts woke Hollywood. Ideology is now more important than art. Do you guys want to watch this real quick?
He's right. Yeah, I listened to it earlier.
Oh, you did? I'm curious. I want to hear what he said. Here we go. Data Racer. Boom. Oh, I didn't share the audio. Dang it! I boomered it.
You gotta share the audio, Matt.
Gotta share the audio.
Yeah, we did that yesterday.
Oh jeez. Oh gosh. Hold on. Now I gotta go find it again. I'm a fool.
Hey, at least you didn't have it echoing for 10 minutes like we did yesterday. So.
All right. I'll count that victory. All right, share audio. Okay. Data Racer. Boom. All right. Let's watch the video.
But no, but I mean, but it has become a thing that's gone on. It seems like in this, especially this last year, where what's the word I'm looking at? Ideology is more important than art.
Way more, certainly to the awards.
Yeah. And it's like, ideology trumps art. Ideology trumps individual effort. Ideology trumps good. Ideology trumps entertaining.
There's two kinds of movies: virtue signalers and superhero movies.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I see what obviously Quentin Tarantino is like 100% correct. Like, and it's refreshing. Like, it's something, it's weird because it's like, we're hearing that, like, yeah, no fucking shit. Like, we're not exactly like, whoa, groundbreaking, but it is very refreshing to hear from someone who's that influential and that powerful and has that much of a position in Hollywood, who's just coming out and saying that. I think that's pretty important.
Well, what it feels like to me is like there's been hundreds, if not thousands of us standing on a distant mountain peak, screaming at the top of our lungs all of these things, and people like Tarantino are just some one random guy that's come climbing up to that peak, and he's like, "Hey guys, have y'all heard?"
Right.
What?
But it also it's important because it's like, I mean, I wonder if this is like now like Hollywood turning and acting like there's like these individuals who are kind of like stepping up for it, because there's like the thing with China isn't really going as well as they wanted. And like they got rid of the Orange Man bad. So now they can go back to making money. Like I wonder, I always have that kind of like secondary question. But if it is on the up and up, it does represent something good because it's like it's someone who's saying what we have seen as the truth for some time now. But you're not allowed to say that. It's a taboo thing to say. And I still feel like a lot of people would catch a lot of shit for saying this. It's just that he's almost untouchable. And he did it with like a very prominent liberal. So it's like,
I still think, Bill's always pivoted to the position he can stay the safest in. I've seen that over the years. He's just
Bill's
doing
defense his entire career.
He's doing another pivot to stay in the public's,
who is
Bill is. He pivots all the time. Like read what Ironcaster said.
Yeah. Bill is partially right. Superhero movies are going ideology. That's what I was gonna say.
His most recent comment.
Yeah.
The first two that
Never mind that Bill was blinded by the ideology for years to hate on Trump. Now that he's just pivoting to bash woke without the Hollywood-approved enemy of the Orange Man. Bill Maher can shut the hell up for trying to seem smug on the edgy side of this. Quentin is the good one here. I don't like Bill Maher. I don't. I find him to be an arrogant, self-important jackass who thinks he's so insightful, and I think he's just kind of a libtard. But I don't think he's coming from an insincere place here because he is a comedian and this isn't the first time he's said something like this. Like there's been a few times where he's made these kind of like comments about society and culture and like how like he has said things similar. Like it's not like he's coming out of nowhere with this.
I agree with APM says, but he stopped being a comedian a long time ago and joined, the dark side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Can't stand the guy. But I'm not I don't think he's being inconsistent.
I think that Bill's not a dumb guy. I think he always knows what's going on and he picks the side he thinks is going to win.
Mm-hmm. He's always done that. I've seen that throughout the years. So
I don't know about that. I mean, maybe. I like I said, I can't believe I'm sitting here defending Bill Maher. Like he's one of my least favorite people. Like
you defend Bree, so it's not a stretch.
Yeah, but I'll stretch her, right, Chad?
I know, right?
Canceled.
Canceled. No, I just like I said, I don't like the dude, but it's like I think he's been consistent with some of this stuff, and he's like trashed, like dumb Democrats. I think he's so smug, he thinks like he's got he could do it better. But I mean,
hyper pretentious.
Guys, I think like the only real conclusions with the ideology shit is like you either ignore it because it's what you want to, it's what you want to see reflected in your culture, or you like don't see it. But that's kind of it. I mean, it's there. It's really not up for debate whether it's there. It's just whether you call it out or not.
I think Ironcaster had another good comment right there.
Oh, mind you, I used to like Bill Maher. He used to be part of my Friday night schedule. He's just trying to be Hollywood edgy and is now just an establishment personality. Yeah, I don't find his comments to be slicing generally, but I still don't think that this is like some wild departure from his, doctrine or demeanor or whatever to get like points with cool people. I just think it's
Iron said another good comment right there. Bill Maher is as edgy as Patton Oswalt and Kevin Smith. Like they're part of the establishment now. They had geek cred.
I agree. No,
but they threw their geek cred away and just like
what they really signed up for.
Yeah. So
I'm not validating him. I don't like him, and I agree with everything Ironcast is saying, and you. That still doesn't make him inconsistent.
Yeah.
He can be consistently a cunt.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think he has been. But I do think, like, I've heard him say other shit like this where it's just got, because at this point, like, even the woke people are like, all right already. We got it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's just become so universal that I think it's taxing. Like, I think even like, okay, so there's a guy out there who I think is like, I don't know about woke, but everything he does is motivated by politics. And that's the guy who did The West Wing. I can't think of his name. Aaron Sorkin. And like he frames everything like he's having this really complex discussion where he's like really representing both sides, but he's not. At the end of the day, you're supposed to conclude that the left and the Democrats are on the right side of things, and anything opposing that is, whatever, however he wants to frame it. But he gets all this, credit for it. But the thing is, like, that's even different. Like, when I watch that, I'm like, ugh, like, I get so turned off. Like, I don't.
To be fair, the first season of The Newsroom is excellent. He also did that.
Yeah, kind of, but they also pulled a lot of bullshit where they tried to do the Trayvon Martin thing, where like they tried to frame it as if, as if the audio slip up was an accident and not 100% intentional, which it was. So they tried to like let the media off the hook there, which was repulsive. But
that's fair.
Yeah, but I mean, and he did do some good things, but like the Republican in that trashes America, and you're like, really, you know what I mean? Like he tries to, it's like, well, you'll listen to it because it's coming from the right wing. It's coming from you. You wrote all of this. He's not a real person. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's not like a real Republican saying that. That's your idea of a Republican saying that.
That's Jeff Daniels.
Yeah,
he was in Dumb and Dumber. Let's calm down.
And there's that famous, he's a great actor, but there's that famous, monologue where he's like trashing America. And it's just like, even if he makes good points, it's like the idea, like he tries to frame it like this is a complex discussion. It's like, it's literally not. Those are all left-wing talking points you just had a right-wing guy say. And it's like, so that's not complex. Like, point being, even the liberals who like that kind of shit, who just like, more of us, we're so smart, they're fed up with the woke shit. Because like even that at least was entertaining or creative or layered. The woke shit isn't. It's fucking like one. This is racism bad. This is bad. Even the people who love to smell their own farts about their ideology and media are fucking sick of this shit.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what Bill Maher's saying. That's what I think Bill Maher is right now. I think even he's just like, all right, I don't need it to be fucking dangled in my face all the time.
But to be fair, I don't think that a lot of the talking heads in media that are spewing those talking points, I don't think that they're strong leftists. I think that they are actors who are reading their scripts competently.
Yeah, I would say that for the news, it's almost 100. Yeah, I mean, the news people, they don't have opinions.
Yeah.
They have jobs that they're trying to keep.
But that's the same with Hollywood right now. If you say the wrong thing, you're gone.
100%, man. I saw that in my community. Fucking, and even like none of us were famous. I mean, there were some people that were like on TV and shit, but like no one was like cancelable. You know what I mean? They were, bit parts and shit like that. But it was just like if you, people caught wind that you thought differently, it was like became gossip.
Ostracized.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree. I think a lot of this is pressure. A lot of it is social conformity. And that's why it's so dangerous, because it's not like true value. It's not true virtue. It's conform or die.
But it never has been. I mean, this all stems from, depending on how far back you want to go with it, it stems from Marxist professors that came into our universities, and they did studies on it back in the 60s and 70s, and they were like, well, it's only like 10% of the universities, and they're only in the arts. Nobody cares.
Mhm.
And now look at it. They've run the campuses, and they're in every department, and they
Yes.
and the people that they have been infecting with these failed doctrines are now at the position where they've left college and they've entered the workforce in these high level positions, and they're making decisions now. And that's the problem, is that even though we're seeing people like Tarantino and various investment companies and things like that realize, holy shit, not only does this not sell, we're actively losing money over it. There's too many people at too many levels of this establishment that have already been put in place who do believe these things and who are trying to propagate them.
It's
And now-
true,
Yeah.
but
And
you're
then that's the
overlooking.
re-
But you're overlooking the very important fact that they're also dumb and easily change their mind when the wind changes. When the breeze goes in a different direction, all these idiots will just follow like lemmings along with the new thinking anyway.
One can hope.
Yeah, and that's the reason why Disney's not letting on like they're hurt, but they're hurting for money right now. Literally hurting for money.
They have to.
And yeah, oh, I know. I got told for a few things, but I can't say some of them, but I can tell you. Disney is hurting for money, seriously, right now. That's
Hey.
the reason why you're seeing some of the changes that are going on. That's all I can say from that, like, little thing. But they're hurting for money right now.
Hey, this is a radical change in topic, but is F9 out yet?
Yes, I watched half of it before I just couldn't do it anymore.
So because Tom said, I guess the other night, he couldn't confirm whether or not they go to space, but do they go to space?
By halfway through the movie, no.
Oh, you're not by halfway. It's got to be the finale because it's not in any of the trailers.
I mean, it is absolutely the most over-the-top one they've made yet by a long shot. It's the first 10 minutes of the movie are more wild than anything that happens in Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
So they do go to space.
I would imagine they might.
Hey, did you see what Retro
If you-
said?
If you Google it, yeah, I mean, you Google it. It says like F9, why they go into space. F9, Ludacris go. Yeah. Wait, what did Sentient say?
Which part?
Retro and then Sentient Dildo both said something.
Breeze going in what direction? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they are. I got told, like, they told that they go into space at some point.
Yeah, Newbomb Turk. Sorry, Newbomb Turk says, do you want to know Foul Ball Productions? You've seen it completely. Yeah, please.
Yeah,
I want to know.
I'm not going to watch it. I'm spoil the fuck out of it.
Even if I am going to watch it, it's not like the story payoff is the reason.
I
I'm
know,
there.
right?
Like, oh, what an articulate masterpiece that is. What a woven tapestry of writing. No, I don't think so.
Sentient Dildo.
Excuse me, can we hear the birthing person talk? The birthing person.
I didn't know I can have children. I'm gonna. I'm just
Don't
kidding.
assume her
I'm just
gender.
kidding.
Don't assume her gender. Don't assume her uterine abilities.
Get a Fiero.
No, the only thing I was thinking, back to the other subject, just really quick, I just thought it was actually really funny, like, about the whole woke everything, that there was just a lot of uproar about, like, any other race of character being replaced by a white character, which, fair, I guess they've done that a lot. But now they're like, don't do that anymore. But then with the new show Anne Boleyn, they replaced Anne Boleyn, who is a historical character, with a black woman. And to me, I'm just like, if you did that in the opposite direction, that show would be canceled. So I'm just curious, like, why everybody thinks that's okay.
Well, there is the history of representation as the racist and the underrepresentation of black women in media and also all the minstrel shows. You have to know your history. Okay, I'm not going to take the time to educate you on this. That would be their response.
I guess I'm just stupid. I don't know. Like,
You're not
you can
stupid. You're a
replace-
rational thinking human being who's
Yeah.
dealing with this from a logical point of view. But it's not what
That
they're
was your
doing.
first mistake.
Yeah, remember, there's no logic or common sense in the world we live in right now. So
Fair. Completely fair.
Yeah, so no, don't never assume logic. Always assume ideology, like the dictates of what they think. Honestly, you'd probably like her. There's this woman, Carrie Smith. She has this channel called Unsafe Space, and she's also like kind of this new Christian and sort of explores like some of the Christian ideology as well. So it's kind of interesting to watch someone, and I know that you are as well. So it's like interesting to like see her kind of like parse through that shit. But she also like really breaks down where all this woke doctrine comes from and like the tenets of it. And for me, it really helps me understand it and objectively see it instead of trying to get bogged down in those little debates with people, because it's like they always, whenever you do that, you get stuck in these little traps where they get you and they try to, you know, they'll bring up some point where you're like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. But it's so, you're so off like the grid on what's logical and what's, you know, rational conversation that you're like, oh, that's what this is. This is all like an info war. Like what you have to do is understand why they say these things, where they're coming from, and what their real worldview is. And once you do that, none of this shit affects you anymore.
Yeah.
And check her out. So Carrie Smith is like the pioneer at that.
yeah,
shit.
she's cool.
Yeah.
Well, she's an admitted deprogrammed SJW.
Yeah,
So she has like an insider's perspective on all of it. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
SJW?
Social
Sorry,
justice warrior.
Oh, I was like, what is that?
Well, I remember we
Okay.
were talking about on one of the shows, you'd never heard that term, like, and that was last year.
I guess I still forgot it.
Yeah. It's amazing. No, it's so interesting because it's like, that's why it's important, I think, wait down for like Tarantino to come say this shit, and why it's important, like, to keep, for us to keep saying it. Because the fucking normies, no, all due respect, Lindsay, the fucking normies, they're not like, they don't get it yet.
Oh, I agree with all
They
of
don't,
that.
you know? So it's like, it's good that like even Tarantino's saying it. It's like good. It's good for the conversation.
Yeah, I agree. I think that in terms of Bill Maher, that's what we were kind of discussing there. And he's just a guy that rides the fence, is what we were saying. But I mean, I agree. Anybody in Hollywood that has the balls to stand up and say it should, especially now, because we are rapidly approaching a point of, I won't say a point of no return, but like there's if you watch history, there's a pendulum swing to these things.
Yeah, and I hope it will happen within the next year or two. So I'm just.
I mean, but that's the problem, is it never goes well when the pendulum swings back.
Yeah, it always goes. You're thinking, okay, we're in a bad situation now.
Yeah, this is a really precarious spot to be standing in.
And then it swings back, and you even get put in a worse situation, because that happened in the early '90s too. It swung from one
history.
Yeah, and I've been through several, like in my 40 years on the earth, I've been through several pendulum swings. And sometimes it's even worse than the crap that you already, like in the 80s with Reagan and like the Soviet Union, you're like, okay, it can't get worse than this. And the 90s stepped in and said, here, hold my beer. You know, like.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that's a big concern about this SJW thing, is that like if you create like how bad they are, well, you're going to create an equal and maybe even worse, like pendulum swing back, you know, from the other side, like almost like a totalitarian right that, you know what I mean, could come back, who, you know, when they start off, like people are like, yeah, totally, good point, like I'm with you, and then like it just gets so far outside of what's acceptable.
I won't get your channel yeeted, but I'll say this, just anybody that's curious what we're really talking about, look at 1936 or 1933 to 1936 history in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
How all of that came to be, and what the general idea of the populace was compared to the general thoughts of the populace circa 1944.
Right on. I wanted to go back real quick to New Bomb Turk spoiling F9. So if you're still curious about how the plot plays out in F9, now's the time to pull the chute.
Yeah.
So he says, I guess they end up in space in a Fiero. I don't even. What is a Fiero?
I don't even know how they would get up
It's a Fiero. What? It's on How I Met Your Mother. He has a Fiero. It's a car.
Never watched that.
What type of car? Okay, well,
He's
it's
never
not. It's not a
watched
good
that.
car. It's not a good car.
No, it isn't.
My knowledge.
I don't know.
Old car.
They don't make them anymore.
It's
That's how good
this
they
thing?
were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
They don't make them no more. They don't make
Okay.
them no more.
They put
They
a
were-
rocket on it.
And
They were
and,
that bad. They don't make
I do
them
know
no more.
that.
and then they run it into a satellite that stops
Why not?
world domination.
And did you see the other part he said about the people from Tokyo
Oh, yes.
Drift?
The guys from Tokyo Drift show up in the movie to assist them into launching the Fiero into space. That sounds awesome. I
did
wanna
see
see
guys
a
from
different
Tokyo
movie?
Drift show up.
Yeah, I guess so. That's the third one, was Tokyo Drift.
That was the second one.
Oh.
Wait, second or third one? I don't
That's the
remember.
third one, because the second one is Too Fast, Too Furious. Ah, I know my Fast and the Furious history.
Yeah, Snore. It
That's not
was a
something to
piece
be
of
proud
crap.
of.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
very proud. Now, this sounds great. I mean, that sounds almost like they get it. Like, I think for a while there, like they were just so crazy. Like they thought, I don't know, but they would always sell. So they obviously knew what they were doing.
So, like, if you want to, I'll give you an idea of how ridiculous this movie is. At one point, they are running, they've got people in choppers chasing them, right? And this is in the very beginning sequences almost, probably 10, 15 minutes in. But they've got these choppers chasing and shooting at them. And one of the vehicles in their little convoy goes across like an old style village wooden rope bridge in a Jeep.
Nice.
But they shoot out or like destroy half of the bridge as they start to go across it. So the bridge is falling.
Oh,
And
no.
the Jeep still drives all the way up it. and
What?
survives.
What
Wow.
That's
So
a
when-
great Jeep.
So when Vin Diesel's vehicle comes, it's his turn now, and they're like, "Where's the bridge?" He hits one of the posts that's still like connected, locks it up in the wheelbase, and on that old ass village rope, swings the whole car like Tarzan, like 2 to 3 miles across the chasm.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Could you have come up with that solution if you were in that problem? That's why they're the heroes, because I wouldn't have thought about that, but they did. And they saved the day. And then they go to space. I mean, this sounds like a mess.
So they just turned
Oh,
it
all right, if
into
you're not
a
sold yet-
non-stop action shit fest.
If
then.
you're not sold yet, I'll give you one more thing. John
Yeah.
Cena plays evil James Bond.
Oh, that's great. I love it. I want it. I genuinely want to see this. Like, I just think it's like I almost think they get it. Like, I almost think they're like, okay, we're kind of a parody for being over the top action to the point where like we're sort of a joke now. Let's lean into the joke.
Well, it's like Sharknado. Sharknado,
exactly.
they were trying to make somewhat serious movie, but then everybody took it as a joke, and then they started leaning heavily into just, we're gonna make the craziest shit in the movie. There's time travel and everything
awesome.
else later on in the other movies.
I actually auditioned for a movie like that called fuck, I forgot what it was. It was some like terrible shark.
Yeah,
movie.
I heard
Sharktopus or
we
something.
may
Shark
have
Night?
to talk about
But there
that.
was Shark.
I
I
don't
sent
even,
you a
Sharknado?
link, Matt, on Twitter if you want to watch the movie before it's officially out.
oh, really? Thank you. I mean,
link
I'm
down,
sure.
you
I'm
may-
sure it's a pay site.
Yeah,
that
it's a
sounds
pay site.
great.
Kit, wait down. Can you send me that pay site too?
That's great. That sounds awesome. We shouldn't do this on the air. I mean, this is all a joke. It's all about. He's just kidding. It's an image of something.
The completely legit link to Amazon.
There we
Yeah.
go. That's what it is. It's a website. It's a Fandango. Buy some tickets. That's what it was. All right, let's move on.
I forgot Fandango existed. Does it still exist? Yeah.
I don't know anybody who buys tickets on there. So
Yeah. Why?
yeah.
I don't know. Snortapoopa says Fieros were exploding at the rate of 1 every 508 cars sold, and no other mass market automobile ever came close to that record.
Well, no, I could be wrong. Was it the Fiero or the Pinto that had the engine in the back, and they kept exploding when they got rear-ended, and that's why they had to stop making it?
I think that's the Pinto.
Yeah, Pintos were kind of cool, but they were a tank. But the only reason why that they did get blown up is because the engine. Besides that, Pintos were tanks.
But I think Wakedown's right. I think there were these two, like, I don't know, struts or whatever that would hold up the bumper, and that when they'd get hit and the strut would go through the chassis, it would hit the gas tank and then leak out gas. And
my dad
ba-boom.
used to have a Duster, Matt, and we got in like 5 car accidents. The only thing that came on that car was a little scratch of, because people are rear-end us all the time out here. It was in the 80s, so people was on like cocaine and like all that shit all the time.
It's like an 80s movie. It's just like some hot blonde, like all over, like every car on the road is just doing coke, and like there's a hot blonde.
We literally got hit from behind. My dad was trying to avoid this dog that ran out, and this blonde from behind us got one of those new cars that were all made of that flammable. Our Duster had a scrape of paint on it, and her car was totally destroyed. Like,
yeah,
like it was just.
She probably was the villain of the movie, though. You know, she probably had it coming. You know, like treated some like nerdy girl really poorly. You know,
well,
like,
she was super hot, though.
Yeah, it's how you know she's bad. I mean, if you ever seen an
I was like, my dad, even his jaw dropped when she got out of the car, and my mom said, "You need to close your mouth." And he's
like, I'm trying to help the poor young lady. She's in distress. She just had a car accident. You guys stay here. I'm gonna take her to the ambulance.
And then I was making wisecracks in the back seat, and she's like, "Shut up." I was like, "Dad's gonna hit on her. Watch." Like,
he's like, "I'm just trying to help her. That's my whole goal." I gotta say, it's approaching 3 hours, and also my time to tap out because I have to go to work.
Okay.
Coming up, but I want to say this was awesome. This was a lot of fun. I got the return of Jake D and Lindsay on this stream.
Yeah.
Big
Lindsay.
Big triumphant returns. No, from people we haven't heard from in a while, and it's really great to have you.
Yeah, you need to. Lindsay and Jake D need to come on the MF-er. Like, seriously. So,
Lindsay, would you ever do the MF for Cocktail Lounge?
When does that happen?
Friday nights at 9:30 Central on this channel.
With my current work schedule, probably not. I don't really know what my next job is going to be yet, so I'd have to see.
All right. Well, we'll keep the slot open.
No commitments, but yeah.
No commitments. Also, I think if we get a lot of fan pressure, you know, that'll probably help with those numbers. We'll guilt her into doing it. But hopefully we'll definitely have you back for the Lord of the Rings stuff, because I think when that comes out, like, I'd like to have your insight on it, because I know you really know the books and you know the movies. So really great to have you, Lindsay. Yes, you do.
Good to be here. I didn't actually ever read them.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you.
It was nice to meet all of you. I hope to talk to all of you a little more.
100%.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
24/7 Fusion Media, man. Thank you for stopping in today, brother. I really appreciate it.
Oh man, thank you for having me, man. And again, congratulations. 1 year is a big thing.
Thanks, man. It's been a pretty cool year, and I'm glad that we made it this far. This is pretty excellent. The Wake Down. Make sure you guys check out the Wake Down's channel. I mean, if you really like me, I'm on there all the time. You know, you've got videos of me, Vigilante. No, the Wake Down's putting out some really good content, and those like really awesome videos. And the intro that we do on Culture Crime Fighters on Wednesday, that's from the Wake Down. So he's the and talented. So it's a good combination.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I much prefer y'all's content. That's why I watch it all the time and talk shit in the chat.
I appreciate it, man. The support is great. I mean, honestly, like, it's really, really dope. So thank you, my friend. And Jed, Pop Culture Archivist.
Yeah, brother, I'm glad you asked me to come on. Thank you very much. And like always, I'm always here for you, dude. And congratulations, and thank you for letting me be a part of all the stuff, man.
Oh,
I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Jed.
Before you close out,
oh yeah, sure.
Snortapoopas had a great comment.
Oh, sure. With Snortapoo was saying we need to counterbalance the masculine toxicity with Islington girls' internalized misogyny. Yeah, well, because she's a based chick, Lindsay. Yeah. So that means she hasn't. That means she doesn't agree with wokeness, so she has internalized misogyny. That's the only conclusion.
Oh.
You can't be a woman who thinks.
Me too, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely do. But to that, I wanted to say thank you guys so much. Thank you to the chat. New Bomb Turk. Hail, brother. Thank you so much. I think Vigilante wrangled you up and you've been coming over here more often. It's great. Good to have you. Snorted Poop is Q Burr, my favorite polar bear. Like I said, very proud to have polar bear representation in this community. It means a lot. Sentient Dildo is questioning our masculinity, saying, okay, if you say so. Great to have the Croatian sensation with us today. Means a lot. Keeps us in line with all his cunty little comments. It's good to have him here. Giovanna Dotlick. Thank you so much, Giovanna. Good to see you here. I don't know. Cavatano Cavalryman Che. Thank you for joining us, my friend. Make sure Ironcaster, APM. Thank you so much, APM, sending me that giant super chat to start the stream. That was fucking awesome. Thank you very much, and everyone who stopped in and checked this out. Jake and Lord Thoth, Draco, everyone that's been a part of this. It's been a really great ride. So thank you so much. I'm really happy to have been here, and you guys all have a wonderful day.